everybody! It's good to see you. It's Opti. We're back. We're apparently not having any technical difficulties now, so we can get the show on the road and finish our Season 1 of Justicars. Having said that, I'm going to hand the reins back over to Cliff, and he's going to GM our way into greatness and glory.
Welcome back, everybody, to the season finale of the Justicars Season 1. So,
yeah.
How are you all feeling about that? This is the last time we're going to be getting together for, I think we have about a month or so in between, and then we pick up at Season 2.
That is, about 2 months.
2 months, okay.
Yes, 2 months.
So it feels like it's been ages since we played last, and that's probably because it has been. It's been, 6 weeks now, or was it a month?
A month. Seems about right.
Okay.
Still, a month is forever in role-playing game time.
And we had some pretty major revelations over the last 2 sessions about Ether and her past, and then Core getting drawn into a trap by Chaos Lord and facing something tied to, the past of something that originally is tied in with her, start as a superhero. Gravistar was making sandwiches through a fair bit of that somewhere, or tinkering around in the lab, I guess. And got involved with some of it toward the end there and helped with rescue. And the Astro Chimp retrieved Sue, who was convinced by Chaos Lord that she would be punished and blamed for his when he teleported in and stole away Ether's former body. I think that covers most of the high points. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Certainly covers me.
So it's been probably a couple of weeks or so since all of the excitement. Things have died down. Things have died down a bit around here. Not as much craziness going on there. There's a bit of crime around the city, and you get to go around and help out with that some. But it seems like it's mostly stuff that the police or some of the other newer emerging heroes in the city seem to be able to handle for you most of the time. And it seems like things are kind of going pretty well these days. No big monster attacks for a few weeks, and no sign of giant heists, though there is a big litany of offensive legal things coming in the direction of the Justicars by angry Egyptologists. So that's currently being deflected by the legal team that's been assigned. So it's not really affecting you guys too much, though you have heard a bit about it, and perhaps some of you might feel badly about it or think it's funny. I don't know. Cor, how do you feel about the having destroyed a bunch of priceless artifacts from Egypt that you just rescued from thieves?
I feel real sorry about it. I don't know, though. Like, the power feels good, and it's something that's new, and it's something that it gives her abilities that isn't tied to an object where the object is special and not her. So, like, there's definitely some conflict there.
Yeah, you actually, in trying to find those artifacts, you took a close look at the power that Chaos Lord was using and found a way to draw upon that yourself.
Yeah, so that's really cool, and I can do some nifty tricks now and make some portals, and we'll see what else comes along the way. But Core was created to be this bright and positive character, and now she's kind of been tainted by this chaotic magic. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully she can keep it together.
And I guess, Whitney, how has Ether been coping ever since the most recent revelation and the disappearance of her body so soon after getting it back?
She's still trying to figure out what she is, because with that revelation, there was somebody inside of there that was also her. So just kind of trying to figure out, well, if that's me, then what am I? And so that's fun. I'm sure she's not enjoying that so much, but she does have some good friends, and Astro Chimp offered to kind of help out too. So guess we'll see.
Okay, so you went ahead and asked your friends to help you with this rather than it being sort of a private existential mulling things over.
I'm thinking it was pretty much a private how she's handling it, but as far as since they were there and they kind of know what's going on, she can't hide it too much.
Okay. So, Astro Chimp, you've been running some tests, I guess. How are you going to assist with this since you'd offered? Can you hear me?
Yeah. So yeah, I can. So basically, probably make some sort of a machine that can analyze incorporeal entities and try to figure out like how you can have two ethers at the same time. Also, I'm probably doing a lot of PR, like going to Egypt and taking pictures with the locals to make ourselves look good.
All right, so why don't you give me a skill test for, I guess, the scientific testing as far as that goes, whether that technology might make sense or if you got something else that you think would be more appropriate, you can roll that.
How about an expertise in super science?
Sure, that sounds very appropriate. You can explain anything as super science.
Yeah, and I got 32.
32. Okay, that's pretty strong. So you are able to come up with a device that can detect incorporeal entities and gather information about them. There's all sorts of different kinds of readings that you're not quite sure how to make too much sense of yet, but having ether around to sit still and provide some good baseline scans is a good start. You can't really tell much just from that for now, but if you did manage to track down Ether's body again and get some more readings, you might be able to do some comparisons. And if you manage to find any other incorporeal entities, doing more scans with that will certainly help your ghostly Pokédex.
Jim becomes a ghost hunter.
Unfortunately, it doesn't bring you any closer to immediate answers, but it does give you a potential lead you could follow. Traveling to Egypt is fun. People seem to like taking pictures with you, and you go ahead and do some posting on that. Give me some sort of a skill test to see how well received your social media campaign is. Do you come off as tacky, or is it actually seen as sincere?
Do I get any bonuses from having 3 in benefit status, being a famous astronaut?
I think that more or less just gives you the reach to make the test. So right. I want to see more just like the skill with which Astro Chimp manages his Twitter or Instagram. So some sort of a charisma-based test, I would imagine. But, I'll allow you to pick the skill.
Persuasion, I guess.
That sounds good.
Got a 21.
Okay, not bad. It's not like this hugely successful campaign. There's not memes being made out about it, or T-shirts being printed as about your trip to Egypt and different poses or things. But people seem to generally appreciate your antics, and it seems to draw a lot of the heat away from the Justicars, and people feel more warm, fuzzy feelings when they think Egypt and the Justicars because of the cute pictures.
That was my intent.
I love how Astro Chimp is so like true neutral. Like he just totally does things based on how practical they are, not because it's right or whatever. He's just like, yeah, let's do the right thing because this will look good. I love it.
And how about Gravistar? What have you been up to in these past couple of weeks as things have been stabilizing to something resembling a normal?
Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be hitting a bunch of dead ends, but I'm trying to investigate into my doppelganger and seeing what I can find about these, what they call them, guardians.
But, I remember something like that. They mentioned something that you were like But there was a number of you somewhere? I don't know.
There was, the other one that looked like you that seemed to refer to something like that. And then there was the alien that showed up and thought that they could just legally attack them all.
Yeah. But I'm assuming there's not, I basically, I assume I can exhaust all avenues of research on that subject without leaving the planet.
Yeah, if you're not leaving the planet, you're probably not finding much. But go ahead and give me some sort of a test to represent your research. Again, you can use whatever skill you think is most appropriate for that, but probably something intelligence-based.
I'm going to guess just plain science for research purposes, maybe.
Okay.
I do get a 35.
Okay, with that, you find mostly you find that you're filtering through a lot of generally unreliable sources, conspiracy theory sites, and different alien abduction reporting things that aren't as well documented and perhaps less likely to be true than some of the more obvious ones that actually have happened. So. With that, though, you do find a few leads on someone who might have seen something or heard about the idea of there being these interstellar guardians and that maybe they're visiting here, but there's really nothing solid to be gained amongst that. So you probably end up following up on a few different leads around, just going to talk to different people who don't really have much more than that. You don't really think the information is likely to be found on this planet, easily at least.
I was afraid of that, but I needed to exhaust that for sure, because my next step is going to be at some point probably taking a leave of absence to go out into space and do some research. But I don't want to do that quite yet.
And how is the Optimist handling things at the moment? How are you feeling about how things have shaken out lately? Everyone seems to be doing more or less okay, though the core's been taking a bit of a dark turn lately. And
so I think I feel great about everybody. Even Core, who was putting us all a little bit, in a little worrisome position because of her dark powers. She seemed to, wrestle with it and come out on a relatively good place on the other side. So I think even with Sue and everything's working out right, kind of like he always thought and felt like it should. So the crime's down. We've been not having any big crime waves or anything like that, and so I think he just feels good. Like this is the way things should work. And see, this is what happens when you just do the work and you sacrifice for the greater good. Everything ends up great. And so he's been probably, taking kids on flights around the city and volunteering at soup kitchens or something because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, things seem to be running generally smoothly, though. I guess, are there any specific things you wanted to head out and check in and investigate as a team? Otherwise, I've got we can fast forward to when some sort of event might occur.
I think there are two things that have been outstandingly bothering me, and one is the fact that Chaos Lord is still out there. That's bothersome. And help me remember the guy's name who was recruiting Chaos Lord and the other guys. Was it like the Monarch? Monarch?
Monarch.
Yeah.
He was the one who organized the initial attack on the Justicars HQ when you were just getting started and tried to kidnap a bunch of people for whatever reason using a band.
Yeah, so Chaos Lord on a particularly personal level just bothers me. And it bothers me that he's out there somewhere cooking up schemes, and then it sits ill in the back of my head that Monarch, we never even we never even really discovered anything about him. Like, it just kind of, we just thwarted the initial plan, but like we really didn't get any information on him or anything like that. So that's something I'm always thinking about in the back of my head.
You did rescue, is it General Maxon, as well as a number of different, fairly high value kidnapped persons from one of his layers. But yeah, you have kind of thwarted all of his attempts to mess around with things, but he hasn't really done a big move since that first one. And that was shut down pretty hard.
Yeah, so that's those are the kind of things that, I'm not going to dwell on them, but, villains do have a way of coming back when you least expect it, and so I guess he's always kind of expecting that they'll come back unexpectedly.
Every time you start to do another positive lecture, I'm real worried you're going to end up hurting yourself by the end of it.
He will just talk until he says something dumb. I feel like that's a complication that I should add.
All right, so it's the middle of the day on a Saturday. There's a public event that you all have been invited to attend. It's a big event at the public library. There's a popular children's book that's being released about Astrochimp, though it's not actually like officially licensed through Astrochimp, so it's like kind of about Astrochimp, but not like. So I'm not sure whether Astrochimp feels a bit robbed about this, because it's clearly based on Astrochimp, and it's favorable, and people seem to love it, but it's also not going through the Astrochimp official licensing, and they didn't actually seek permission to use your likeness, even though it's not technically exactly your likeness. So Astrochimp, you might feel a bit. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I think he's AFK.
Oh,
he went to take
away.
medicine.
Oh my. Okay. So apparently Astrochimp. We'll find out Astrochimp's opinion. But how are the rest of you do? Are you planning on going to the event at the library?
Yeah, of course.
The author for the book is going to be there, and there were some previous books by them that were pretty popular, and it's sort of this big event where they have some fun things for kids to do, and it would be really cool to have superheroes there too, especially Astrochimp. But
we should rename it the Astrochimp-verse. But yes, of course, we'll show up.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and the library is right in the downtown area, so it's a big bustling urban area, and there's lots of really, really happy kids there. When Optimist comes and Gravistar come flying in, and Core, what form are you arriving in?
Oh, what shapeshift form?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We don't necessarily know what you look like in any given scene. So,
Yeah,
so
it's a
you'll
special.
send a picture as you come into the frame.
It's a special event, so and I know that Obo's been working hard on our image and stuff, so I'll give him a little bit of a show, and I'll fly overhead as a phoenix and like fire blazing and past me, and then I'll kind of do a circle around the library and then gently land and provide a photo op for the kids.
There's a little bit of screaming, but then mostly cheering. as the giant flaming bird flies around and then safely doesn't murder everyone there. It is actually there to be friendly as part of the show. So the people who are nervous are very soon, shortly after, feeling relieved. So
Good news.
all right, Ether, how about you?
She doesn't really like this kind of stuff, so just trying to wave awkwardly and just kind of like, hey, like if people talk to her or whatever, but she's not trying to make a show of herself, just hopping in and she's there with them.
An Optimist as leader of the Justicars, you find that they seem to expect you to say something up at the podium. Just as the event is being opened up. Are you going to move on into that? Or it seems like Astro Chimp has evaded the situation. So.
Yes, I will climb the podium and begin talking to the children about the importance of finding a third way between doing nothing about the problems of the world and joining with the problems of the world, and how it's important that we take action, and you can be your own superhero in your own way, as long as you don't just sit and let the bad guys have their way. Man, that came out kind of poetic.
Yeah, I totally just imagined Captain Hammer right there singing
in your own not that heroic way. Yeah.
All right, and then just as you're about to finish the speech, this lady from the library comes on up with a book and hands it to you, and you realize you're expected to read the book now to the crowd of people. So,
what kind of a book is it?
It is a children's book with stories of 2 or 3 sentences per page or two, but mostly like bright, vivid illustrations with some pop-out sections. And it's called Space Chimp Saves the Day.
Do you want me to ad-lib this, or do you have?
No, you don't have to do that if you want to make it up. By all means, that would be awesome, of course. But
okay, here we go. We're gonna try. So I open up the book and I show the illustration to the children.
Hold on, then. If we're going to do this right in true role-playing cooperative fashion, so we'll start with Whitney here. Describe the illustration on the first page that Opti will then narrate, or say what the text that goes with it. So.
Oh God. Okay.
The first page of Space Chimp Saves the Day.
The first page is a chimp that is in space, and it's holding a. Well, I guess it would be the first part of the story. So I'm sure he's just. It looks like he's inside of some sort of space station, and he has a burrito.
All right. Go ahead and read the first page, Opti.
Hi, I'm Space Chimp. I live in space. My favorite food is burritos. What's yours?
Oh man, they're such a good author. When you turn the page, Bob, why don't you describe what the next illustration is?
All right, Space Chimp still has his burrito because he never goes far without it. Tinkering around in his lab with some undescribable technology.
All right, and then what does it say, Opti?
Sometimes I break things, and I have to learn how to fix them. I find it's important to keep myself healthy by having burritos. That's it.
Okay.
That's all it says.
I think we'll just fast forward to the rest of the scene now. Great job, everybody.
Professional writer right there.
Yes,
the last page says, when real heroes like the Happy Mist aren't around, sometimes even space chimps will do. The Haptimist. That's a good one. I'll have to make that guy sometime.
All right. As this is going on, just a couple of blocks away, there is there's another. It's like a big, fancier apartment building. One of those places where they have somebody who's hired just to open the door for the people who are supposed to be let in, and just stand there and ignore the people who aren't supposed to be let in. And there's a man that approaches the person at the door, and the is obviously not recognized, and the door guy looks up and kind of gives them the stern go away look, and then the man who approaches, he's wearing a dark suit. We don't see his face at this point. Sort of waves something up in front of his face, and there's sort of this brief flashing red light, and then the door guy sort of goes slack and then turns and opens the door, and the man in the suit walks in. Oh, we'll cut back to the event here. It's a little bit later on after the initial reading is done. There are kids running around, climbing on Gravistar. Hello, Astrochimp, you're back. Welcome. So we're at a event at a library where the Space Chimp Saves the Day book, a children's book, has been revealed. So the Optimist just read it to a crowd of children.
Yeah, I'm giving signatures and asking them to use hashtag Astrochimps and the Justicars on Twitter whenever they see us.
Okay, sounds good. Cora, what are you doing at the place?
I'm having fun playing with the kids, so I'll just let them, like, anyone that wants me to turn into any of my forms, I will. I can give pony rides as the centaur, or turn into whatever mythical or normal creature they want me to, and do pets. I'm a one-person petting zoo.
Okay, so you are hugely popular with the kids. So just go ahead and give me some sort of a skill check, probably a social skill of some kind, to see how well this goes over.
We'll avoid intimidation.
Save that for the Halloween event.
Yeah, right? I'll do persuasion, I guess. That's a 30.
Oh yeah, with a 30, you're just... Nobody seems to worry about or question the potential safety issues or liability, legality things involved with all of this, and everyone just gets into it, and the kids have a great time, and you're super popular, and you end up getting lots of rides. It's very exhausting. You're sort of been mainly trying to hang toward the back of things and not stand out, but there are still kids walking up to you and asking you questions. Most of them are like kind of awkward and pointed. Like there's this one kid who walks up and says, "What's your superpower?"
I'm a ghost.
That's not a superpower. That's just what happens when you die. You're not a real superhero, are you? You
Well,
just
then
hang
maybe
out
I'm
with
dead.
them. He jabs you in the leg with the.
Oh, I was saying, well, maybe I'm dead.
Also, I can touch you, so you're not really a ghost.
Okay.
So the kid comes around. Hey, that's Ether. She can do ghost things. He says, yeah, right. She's dumb. I'm gonna go get a picture with Astrochimp.
I fire my laser into the air, make it look cool.
Poor Ether.
No, she doesn't care. She doesn't like kids.
The kid looks up at you and says, I think you're pretty cool. But
Thanks.
how come I can see you? I can't see other ghosts.
Because I'm in a body right now. I can leave it when I want to.
Oh. That's pretty neat. What does it look like?
He's throwing shade.
What does it look like?
Yeah. When you don't have a body.
I'm invisible.
Can I make a blue light version of what Ether would look like? To show the kid?
Give me some sort of a visual art skill test here to see how good it looks. Or you can make a power test, I suppose.
Let's see, what would I use? There you go. Deception. 21.
Okay, it looks kind of like ether. Would look, maybe. Pretty close.
It's like blue and see-through, and punkish. So like, yeah, it looks like that. It's so cool.
Some of the kids are looking up. Oh, is that what ether really looks like? She's really pretty, one person says. I think she's dumb, the kid says. So
Resisting urge to insult child.
That's just a dumb power. Even being able to make dumb blue pictures is cooler than that.
Well, kid, what's your power?
I don't have any powers. I'm a kid.
That's pretty dumb.
You're dumb.
Okay.
There's this. Everyone, give me a hearing-based perception test.
Big weapon 17 for me.
26, and I have ultra hearing.
19.
13. Clutch.
What does Elder Hearing let you do? Just hear outside the spectrum or other weird stuff?
I think it's like ultrasound. Let me just double check.
Okay.
I got 23. I don't know if you're having me do it too because I was talking, but...
Oh, yeah. Anybody who got a 20 or more definitely notices that there's a sort of a loud rumble or a thump from outside. It doesn't sound quite like an explosion. It's more like there's like a reverberation. And in Astro Chimp, with your ultra hearing, you're able to pick up a lot more detail. There was some sort of a pulse that resulted in an audio wave that's reverberating through, the buildings and the air in a way that almost sounds like an explosive concussion or like a loud impact, but it's not exactly that. You are uncertain of the source, like what actually caused the sound, but you don't think it was an explosion or a gunshot or anything normal.
He's gonna fly up and he's gonna say, "Justicars, form up!" And tell them about there might be some sort of some sort of strange explosion or explosion-like phenomenon happening.
Okay. Well, I will head out to be with, or I will follow what Astro Chip said and head outside.
I'll let off the child that's on my back and transform back into a phoenix and take off.
It's just to be clear, you're letting the kid off before you turn into something made of fire.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Important procedure to follow.
I will make eye contact with that child and leave my body. And resist. I'm going to resist giving him a ghost wedgie as I leave.
You don't want to jump into the obnoxious brat of a kid and run into battle.
Give himself a wedgie.
So tempted to do that, but I'm not going to because the others have a reputation.
That's what you should have done. You should have possessed the kid and then made him do something funny.
I thought about
Pick his
doing
nose.
that, but pick his nose and eat it in front of his mom. I will do that afterwards.
All right, so you go running outside and you find that there's some people who are standing around here. It looks like there's a couple who were waiting at the bus stop, and there's a cafe just at the corner that's been pretty busy, and some people are standing up and looking around and getting their phones out. It doesn't look like anyone's actually hurt or in danger, but it looks like the people outside here mostly noticed what happened, and they seem a bit confused and curious. Most of them don't really seem all that afraid, but there's this kind of a tension or edge to the air that rings of anxiety. I don't see anything that immediately accounts for whatever that was. And there's no smoke or signs of damaged buildings. There was just that thump.
Well, I'm gonna go down and tell everybody, it's alright, citizen, this is the Astrochimp, and I give them out some signed copies of my children's book. And I ask them, like, what happened? Did you see anything?
No, there was that big boom. We thought it was a bomb. It didn't sound like a bomb, someone said. It was more like a big thump.
There's
Do you
just
know what
nothing
a
to any of us. We
fortress
can't
sounds
see anything.
like?
Knocked my drink off the table. Sorry, what did you ask?
I said, so we can't see anything. It's just pretty much everything looks fine.
Everything looks fine other than, the people who are standing around looking a bit confused and maybe wondering the same as you what happened.
Can I do an investigation check to see if there are trace left for stuff?
Sure. Do you have any sort of devices you're using to scan for things? Or is this just more deductive stuff?
Deductive stuff, plus I have analytical vision, so I can pick up some small stuff that others might have missed. Details that others might have missed.
All right. As you're starting to go ahead and give me the test, but then everyone give me a toughness save. Is there suddenly this loud cracking sound and another sort of big boom or thump that does have something of a shock wave that blasts through and around the area, and shortly thereafter, about a second after this initial burst, where a lot of people are being knocked off their chairs or off their feet onto the ground, and vehicles are starting to rock. Just all of a sudden, just windows all over, just everywhere you can see, just start shattering apart into tiny bits and just flying outwards out of their buildings.
I got a 28 in investigation.
Okay, your investigation more or less is confirming that there isn't any sort of normal, obviously known source from this. If you're able to, you're able to probably consider that you could take some readings here and there and try to perhaps triangulate on the source, which was probably fairly close, given a number of different factors. But before you have much time to figure that out, there's the follow-up next one, which is, like I said, a lot more intense.
Did you say that there was broken windows and stuff somewhere?
Yeah, all the windows that you can see are now broken.
Are the window shards falling on people? Because I'd be creating little bubbles to.
Did you all make your toughness save?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, I should.
Yeah.
27 here.
28.
10.
33.
But like I said, if I had any notice, then I'd be throwing
15.
up. I'd be throwing up bubbles on people and increasing their toughness.
Okay, so anybody who got less than 25, you're going to take just 1 point or a -1 to further toughness saves. If you got less than 20, you're also dazed, and the Optimist is also stunned. So yeah, by the time you realize all this, all the glass has sort of been tickling down all around you. There don't seem to be any serious injuries from the glass. There's no giant shards of it falling down on people, but it does look like a lot of people have been knocked back and tossed around and hurt. The cafe is in absolute shambles. There's some vehicles laying on their sides. One of them is laying on someone's leg while they're trying to, they're trying to pull free. It looks like they're hurt. And a lot of people have been tossed or knocked around. One man was lifted up off of his feet and tossed into the side of a nearby building and hit the ground pretty hard. Fortunately, all the children were inside the library, and were protected by the library itself, though, the buildings around have taken some damage as well.
I'd like to land and transform into my giant eagle and call out for people to come to me so I can get them away from the area.
Okay, some people come running up to you. It looks like a lot of people are kind of getting up and helping each other up, and I guess some of them are running toward their vehicles, other ones are heading into buildings. But a number of them have been sort of turning and looking into the superheroes to see what they're going to do about this. Gravistar, what are you doing?
Well, I'll be shielding people as best as I can while also gaining some altitude and see if I can spot the source.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's much to shield people from besides some of the broken glass, and you're able to kind of keep and shunt that away using the gravity. You realize that they're mostly shattered into smaller bits, so they're probably not going to result in any serious injuries, but still that much falling down at once might be dangerous. So you're able to sort of create these gravity awnings in a few spots to shield certain people from falling debris. And as you fly up and take a look around, I guess give me a perception test or possibly a science type test as well, because it's more observing and figuring out what you're seeing and what it means. So take your pick.
Well, that's obviously going to be science for me. A 36.
Okay, so you fly up, and with a much higher vantage point, you're able to essentially determine that this is some sort of effect that has an outward, has an origin point that seems to go out in all directions, and so almost like a blast radius. So you're able to fly up and take a look and get a good idea of where the center position is. And it's this fancy apartment building pretty close to the library.
There. So on the Justicom, I'll say identify the ground zero apartment 2 blocks over or whatever it is.
You're not quite sure exactly where in the building. You think it might be ground floor or basement.
Just relay that to the team and head that direction.
I'm going to fly over there myself.
How long am I going to be stunned for?
You're just kind of finishing shaking it off now. Now I think the only lasting effect is the -1 to things.
Okay. Well then, once I shake it off, I'll realize that the team has started to move, and I'll follow.
All right, Corey, you've got these people clinging onto your back in eagle form.
Yeah,
looks like 4 of them.
I'm gonna take off kind of low and as smoothly as I can, but I'm also gonna kind of the direction I'm going to get them away. I'd like to kind of grab onto anyone else that's kind of struggling to get up and leave and bring them with me so they're at least out of danger.
Okay. So you're flying along, evacuating some people from the area. I should also add, Gravistar, it looked like the blast radius of the effect, it's hard to tell exactly because it seemed to diminish in intensity as it went out. But the effective blast radius of the most recent burst seems to have been roughly 1/4 mile in radius. Astro Chimp, what are you doing?
Right. So I'm gonna use my speed and quickness to basically try to just survey the whole building. I'll be flying through doors if I have to.
Okay. So once you get the heads up on what building it is, you fly straight there and you start zipping around really fast. Give me I guess just another perception test for the search, unless you've got a different skill you'd prefer to roll.
Well, already rolled perception, got a 20, and I have acute senses and ultra hearing, if that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I have to say I've probably been tainted by reading so many like Powered by the Apocalypse or Forged in the Dark role-playing game ideas and a lot of other indie stuff. It comes to like asking for the skill test is like, make this particular roll. And I'm like, just let the player pick whatever they're going to roll with, and then you base what they get out of that roll somewhat on how appropriate that was. I find myself adapting more of those games than I actually get around to playing them. All right, so as Astrochimp is flying around searching the place, what are the rest? I guess Ether, you had kind of gotten up and you saw Optimist was shaking it off as well. What are you doing?
I would have actually followed Grabastar because I can fly when I'm not in my body.
You left your body, so you're zipping around with Grabastar then. And
yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think we do have comms for when I'm invisible and stuff, right? Or no? You guys still can't. I can't remember if we fixed that or not.
I thought we did.
Okay.
I don't recall. It would make sense with all the research that Astrochimp's doing that he worked up something that you can use or manipulate. So we'll say you can communicate somehow. We won't worry about the details. It's comic book physics, super science.
Yeah.
All right, so Astrochimp, you head to the building and you find its windows are all busted out like everything else around here, and there seems to be some minor structural damage as well. There are a lot of people that are like in various states of disarray and confusion or anger, like they were just tossed around inside their apartments or knocked over. A lot of stuff's busted. This isn't the kind of area of the country where earthquakes happen a lot, and this wasn't exactly very earthquake-like, but things here aren't earthquake-proofed, so people's apartments are just a mess. There's all sorts of different alarms going off and damage to appliances and potential like pipes broken here and there, and the idea that there might be a gas leak from one spot to another. You're able to kind of isolate and determine there aren't any dangerous gas leaks as far as you can tell. But checking around the place, looking around, you do find that there is like a service elevator toward the back, and it's kind of in a locked position, and you kind of zip down and check things quickly, and it's a little trickier to get through. But once you get down to where the elevator is, you find that there is a dead body in the elevator. It looks like a security guard who's been killed and stashed there with a bit of a streak of red on the ground to show the body. So obviously been moved. And down here, it's a kind of a larger basement area with lots of kind of industrial looking stuff here. Big laundry facilities, the boiler or whatever you call it. Just think, big city, older city building basement with all the maintenance stuff. I don't know the right technobabble, I'm afraid.
Is there like a tunnel or something that goes further in or further deeper?
No obvious tunnels, but there isn't a lot you can see from this vantage point. I was gonna pick up from here. I think I'll see what the other players are doing. So you've had a chance to examine it. It looks like whoever you're trying to, whatever the source of this is that you're trying to find out, something's happened, and it's probably down here somewhere.
Right. I also have dark vision, so is it lit up in here? Is there lights, or is it completely dark?
It's not really well lit, but there's a fair bit of light.
All right, so I'm gonna take my laser pistol out, put it in my hand, and kind of like zip around here. I'm not a particularly careful person.
Okay, you go zipping around in here, and you practically bump into Gravistar.
Hey, Gravstar, what you doing down here?
Then you realize it's not Gravistar. He just looks a lot like Gravistar, but like there's certain aspects of his feature, like his nose is a different shape and his eyebrows are a bit different. And they're like, this is like a Gravistar's brother or something. And they look to you and seem to about like raise up a hand in your direction, and something's about to happen, which I think we'll call for an initiative roll here. And as that's going on, I guess, were the rest of you heading to this place? Or doing something different?
I was following Astro just a little bit behind him.
All right, everyone except for Core, who's been evacuating some people. You get a number of people, outside of the blast radius. And pick up some people and drop them off, and you just realize there's a whole lot more people back there in the city than you'll be able to carry to make a huge difference numbers wise. But that said, every person you save is a big difference.
I'm gonna go ahead and morph into centaur form and gallop back to my team while shouting for everyone to get to safety.
Okay. The safety centaur is returning. As people are sort of picking themselves up, and there's a lot of general confusion and not a lot of panic setting in just yet, but you can sort of see the edges of it starting as people are wondering, oh, what the heck happened? We were attacked? Was it a bomb? Is it terrorists? Oh, it's another superhero battle. Crap, I forgot to get my office insured for that. I thought the flood was enough. All right, anyway. So everyone except for Core is at the building at this point, though most of you are kind of just still upstairs. So for initiative, we've got... I just see Astrochimp's initiative. Did the rest of you roll?
I just rolled 14.
Hang on a second.
9.
Cliff, do you want mine too?
Sure. It won't come into play this round because you're kind of on the way there this round, but
For some reason,
you can still roll it.
rolled privately to you, but I got a 2.
Okay, so on 24, the Gravistar lookalike puts up his hand towards Astro Chimp and opens up his mouth, and then there's a sort of kind of deep but sharp, harsh, distorted oscillation that comes directly out, and you're not quite sure what it is or what's causing it. It's like sound, but it's not like it's coming from vocal cords. It's doing weird stuff, and it's some sort of assault on you. So give me a fortitude save.
All right. I got a 7.
A 7? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I might
see.
want to use my hero point to reroll that. That was a hero point, and it's a 22.
Okay, yeah, you can feel strange things happening to your body and your armor, and you just feel something overcoming you, and you're starting to lose consciousness, but you gotta shake it off and turn a dial on something, and I don't know, do some sonic face cancellation or whatever with your suit, and you mostly shake it off so that you're just dazed. So I think that just means you can only do a standard action on your next round.
Yep.
But then we come to your turn. You feel a bit dazed and staggered by the effect, and there's this... you can still hear the rumbling, ringing echoes of reverberation through the giant metal objects that are around here in the basement.
All right, so I'm not taking any chances with this schmuck. I'm gonna do a power attack with my laser pistol. So -5. Oh, I still did that. Yep. So that should have included everything. So that's a 28 with a critical, and 32. So I'm gonna add +5 to that DC, make it 37.
Okay, failed by 12 there, so... Does that knock him out? I forget.
That's like 3 degrees, so there should be stunned and 1 injury.
Oh, right, yeah. So what happened with the Optimus? You blast him, and he grabs his face, and it doesn't actually say rah. It doesn't actually make a noise otherwise, but yeah, grabs his face and sort of seems very focused on the fact that he's just been shot in the face at the moment. Doesn't drop to the ground, but you definitely tell the laser shot just turned up all the way on high and getting a nice face full right in one spot. Had a strong effect on him. 1 or 2 more shots like that might just take this thing down.
Yeah, don't sneak up on this chimp in a dark basement.
All right, then on 14, Gravistar goes. You've arrived in the building. You've sort of gone flying in. What do you do?
Well, I head downstairs.
All right, you go flying down through the elevator shaft and past the dead body and see Astro Chimp there with a pistol, and he's just shot something that looks a lot like you.
Oh, lovely.
You doing anything else?
Well,
I'll call it your move action to get to this position.
all right. Well, let's test out a theory. Let's see if I can contain him. So we'll go with my gravity paralysis affliction.
All right, and that's a save for him, a fort save, or is it a different kind?
That's what I'm looking at. It's been long enough. I don't remember what kind of save. It's a dodge check for him. DC 23 dodge check.
All right, I failed by 1.
Failed by 1 so he's hindered and vulnerable unless he's immune to it.
He doesn't seem to be immune, and he said he's busy grabbing his face that's been apparently shot by a laser beam or something. So you don't seem to take him out, but your power does seem to be affecting him. Let's see, next. Let's see, we have on 10, there's some movement in the basement. Whoever's there, I guess Gravistar and Astro Chimp, each make a perception test.
Got a 24.
Okay, well, Astro Chimp at least notices that there's someone further back in here that was just around the corner, like observing from a hidden location behind some big machines that just moved and very swiftly and silently moved away, but not swiftly and silently enough for your ultra hearing and dark vision and other enhanced senses. You didn't get a good look at them, but it seemed to be a guy wearing some dark clothing. Let's see. At that point, they go running back over and do something. You hear some rustling around, and then this... well, it kind of sounds like somebody stabbing somebody. I mean, other than, there's no, sharp sound of pain or scream or whatever, but the sort of thunk of some sort of like perhaps metal object being stabbed into something meaty is heard. And then we move on to Optimist. You've arrived in the building. You saw where Gravistar flew down through that elevator shaft. Are you going to follow?
Yeah.
All right, you get down in the basement, and yeah, see there's the other Gravistar who's been shot in the face.
Can I tell he's been shot in the face?
Well, he's grabbing his face, and there's kind of smoke coming out between his fingers, and Astrochimp has a smoking, glowing at the end, a laser pistol that he just recently overheated a bit.
Okay, well then I'm going to use my Light of De-Escalation and see if I can't get this guy to stop being aggressive. Even though it looks like he's just been shot in the face.
Or is that just a save?
Yes, I do believe I have to. So 19 to hit.
A 19 is not going to hit.
Wah wah. I missed with my Light of De-Escalation.
You start trying to center the Light of De-Escalation on him, but it's there's other stuff messing with it in different ways. You realize that Gravistar is doing some sort of gravity field wave that's on the guy, hindering him. For some reason, they're not working well together.
Yeah, because in heavy gravity, light can bend, and so it's probably bending the light just enough to throw my aim off. So I guess we'll have to. Well, I mean, like, what's this guy doing? What do we have here? Another Gravistar. And that'll be all I do, because I've already flown down the thing and shot him and talked. I think that's probably all I can do. Unless somebody wants to answer me and we can have some banter.
You said I'm next?
Yep.
Okay. So I was with Gravistar, so I pretty much would have followed down there.
Zip along into the basement past the dead body.
Yeah. Actually, wait. I'm gonna possess the dead. Can I possess the dead body?
Can you possess dead people?
I don't know. They can possess bodies.
Well, it's your power. You made it up, so I'll let you decide. Is it something you could do normally, or would you have to do a hero point to kind of modify things?
I'm gonna do a hero point. She probably would have never attempted to do it. I mean, there's no brain function in the body she has now, so it's potentially possible. So yeah, I'm gonna possess the dead body.
All right, so either you go slipping down into this dead body and you're like, well, here goes. And, all right, give me a power check. I said you're spending a hero point to do this, so, I mean, it will happen. I just want to make a roll to see.
What am I rolling?
So a d20 plus the level of your power.
What's the level of my power? Sorry.
The rank, maybe? I might be using the wrong term, sorry.
Oh, okay. Possession. Okay, I see it. So I got a 6.
Well, that was on the die. What's your bonus then? The power rank? Hello? I can't hear you if you're talking.
Sorry, I was on mute. My stuff's a little different. There's not like levels next to it. It's like what the person has to roll against.
Okay, usually you have to buy powers by ranks, though, I thought. So it might, well, whatever the case, it's kind of a lower side roll. So you jump into the body, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen, but you sort of open the eyes, and there's sort of your vision is a bit blurry, and you don't feel the body. Like you feel like something, but you just feel totally numb all over. And you get up and you sort of overcompensate and kind of lean over and grab something and fall over and kind of flop around a bit. But you sort of get yourself. It would be almost comical, but it also might be completely terrifying because this is a dead body.
I need to bring this dead body to that child.
Who, as he gets up and starts moving around, his gun that was laying near on his lap falls over and clatters on the ground. It's a revolver, missing one bullet, his own gun, the one that was used to kill him. And he's got basically this big chest wound that went right through his heart. He apparently grabbed his gun and shot himself through the chest. Kind of an odd suicide, and then was dragged over into this elevator. But yeah, you've got this gaping chest wound and this body that you can move around, but it's sluggish to respond, and you can't really feel much of anything.
I am a meat
some visual
shield.
information you can hear, but it sounds muffled. And this is not optimal. but yeah, you kind of get up and start moving around and doing stuff. The rest of you kind of look back and see Ether is got this sort of corpse to start moving around, and that's kind of creepy. And I guess at that point we come around to top of the order on 24, the guy who got shot in the face. He pulls his hands away from his face again and then just seems to inhale as if he's about to yell or scream, and then does, but again, it's not like a normal sound. There's this kind of that comes around, and like there's this release of energy from it, like a pop or a thump, kind of similar to what you experienced outside, but a lot closer and perhaps a bit more intense. And everyone's tossed around some, so everyone give me a toughness save.
Am I close enough for this?
Not really. You're still kind of upstairs, so.
Okay.
22.
$24.
21.
All right, so you all take another
10.
point of cumulative damage, though your zombie possession is fairly short-lived, as your zombie body is tossed, just flung back into the elevator and bounced around some and further messed up, and you find yourself floating outside of it. I'll give you a hero point back because it was cool to do something new and interesting.
Okay.
So I think that was hero point worthy, but and yeah, as a consolation prize for having it wrecked before we got to do anything with it.
I was supposed to add a 10 to that 6. We found it thanks to Bob.
Oh, okay, for the power check, you mean?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. So, I suppose I just should have said, yeah, let's just do the power level, which is probably what it's at, but sounds good. So, yeah, there's this sort of burst of sonic energy that nobody's really knocked down or around except for the zombie guard. It just definitely doesn't feel good. And there's a couple of pipes that break and some more water starts pouring out of one of them. And next we go to Core.
Oh boy! All right, so I'm galloping through the upstairs and coming down the stairs. What do I see as I get down the stairs?
There's a dead body in the elevator, blood all over the place, mostly smeared on the floor and the walls. There's you see the rest of your friends down here, and they seem to be fighting another Gravistar that's got this big burn mark across the front of his face. It looks like it might have been caused by an astrotrimp laser.
Good. As I come around the corner and I'm gonna kind of leap, and mid-leap start to turn into my snow leopard. And I'm just jump on this guy. I remember him from last time when he stepped on me.
All right, you go leaping at the not Gravistar. Give me your attack roll.
I'm real mad that's... Wait, that's not right. I didn't add my bonus for my... So that should be a... It should be a 19.
All right, he dodges to the side as you go leaping at him, and you do not get to maul him and bite off his face.
Next time.
Next would be Astro Chimp.
All right, so I heard somebody else in the basement, right? Somebody.
Yeah, further on in here. It's a big basement. Again, there isn't really a clear line of sight very far because there's big machines in the way.
All right, I'm gonna use
carts and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of my newest gadgets, which is kind of like a really teched out goggle that can. Well, it can do a whole bunch of things, but the most important things right now is tracking, detect magic, and penetrate concealment and counter illusion.
Okay, go ahead and give me a what is it? A power test for that, or does it let you use?
It's just perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make your perception test then.
Got a 19.
Okay, you're getting some unusual and weird readings, but they don't seem to align with the magic parameters. You don't think that this device will work on whatever's happening here, but there's definitely a lot of residual energy of some kind that you're getting weird readings. But again, it's not magic, so you're not technically detecting it. I'm just sort of describing that you're picking up that whatever it is, it's something else.
It's not Chaos Lord. All right, can I still use my tracking to track this guy down?
Sure. You didn't go very far, and you kind of spotted him a bit earlier before and heard some stuff. So, and with all of your senses, I'd imagine shouldn't be that hard. But let's see your dice roll.
So with the power of tracking, it should reduce the DC to track him to 10.
Okay, so you it's a little bit further on in and past this sort of tossed across curtain that was partitioning off another area where there's piles and piles of laundry, but back here laying down just sort of laid out are a number of unconscious forms, and they look like people who might live and work here at the apartment building. They're dressed like I think one of them might be a door guy or like a lobby clerk. There's a couple of people who look like they might be like maids or other cleaning staff.
Right.
And there's 5 of them, and other than that, there's a man who's just wearing like a dark suit, and he's standing up from one of them, and he's stuck some sort of weird object that's like this large, irregularly shaped, rounded frame over their face.
All right, I guess I'm gonna point my gun at him. That's gonna be the end of my turn.
All right. Next would be I lost the order here. Was it Optimist or Ether? No, Ether was last.
Yeah, I was last.
I think it's Gravistar.
Oh, Gravistar. Okay, Gravistar, go ahead. Yep, Gravistar, then Optimist.
Alrighty. I'm going to try to stage up my gravity paralysis, so hit him with that again. He's at half his defenses now.
And you don't have to hit for that, right? That's just a save?
That's a dodge 23 save for him. He's got like half his dodge.
Okay, it looks like he failed that by 8. That's going to stack on another level of it, right?
Yeah, that upgrades it to immobile and defenseless.
Okay, so he kind of tightens around him and he just falls over, almost comically like a statue. Looks like you've got him. And then Optimist.
So the guy's down, is no longer a threat?
Yeah, it looks like it. Astro Chimp went bounding off further on into the place. And other than that, there's the dead body that got up and got tossed around.
I'm going to assume that was Aether, since it didn't really do anything. But I'll bound off after Astro Chimp.
Okay, you go running off that way and find, again, the scene that I described in this larger partitioned off laundry area space. There's a bunch of people lying down, and there's a guy who's not lying down, wearing a dark suit, who's sort of turned away from you, and he's put some sort of a frame on the face of one of the people who's laying down. It's your movement action to get around and over there. So
he's
are
put
you
a
doing anything
frame
else?
around the face?
Yeah, like it's kind of round, but there's these sort of longer, irregular shapes. It looks like a dark, dull metal of some kind that sort of frames around the person's face or head, like a head cage thing, but not exactly.
Astro Chimp is
exactly seen anything like it before.
Is Astro Chimp there?
Yes, Astro Chimp is right next to you.
Have you
He's
ever seen
pointing
anything
at-
like this?
No, I'm a ape of science. This is not my expertise.
Can I examine one of the faceplate things?
Yeah, I guess you kind of go up to it. There's that guy standing next to it who looks over at you as you approach, and there's something familiar about him. He's this kind of middle-aged guy. Seems kind of I don't know, just kind of normal and bland. He's wearing this dark suit, like it's all dark, including the undershirt. And he sort of looks at you and narrows his eyes.
What are you doing?
And watch and see.
Well, I
And he
won't
goes-
stand for you hurting these people.
He reaches down towards the thing that's around the person's head.
Does it look like he's about to hurt them?
You're not quite sure what he's doing, but he's about to do something with this frame that he stuck on this person's head. And as you were able to move up to it and take a close look at it, I guess, do you have any sort of skill that would let you look at weird objects and artifacts and know what the hell they are?
I don't think so.
Okay, you
no.
get a general optimistic sort of bad feeling about it.
Yeah, I'll just...
The hope inside of you is letting you know that this is not a good thing for this person to have on them.
I was right there too. I have assessment where I can use insight to learn like an opponent's combat capabilities. Is that something that would help?
It's something you could do on your action, I guess,
Okay.
to observe them. I think there's a test you make for that.
Yeah, unless they're already hurting someone, in which case, good, we know, but...
So yeah, you've taken a look at this thing and more or less done your action. He's gonna reach down and he basically presses down on this kind of like lever or plunger like device on it, and like something extends down from the center of it into the person's mouth like a long spike, and then keeps going. And you'd expect to see like blood or a nasty like person expiring from it, but instead they start sort of bubbling all over, like their skin starts bubbling and flowing, and they start to shake and glow. and there's a flash of light, and when it's done, this sort of frame falls off with a bit of a clink, and there's a Gravistar laying there.
There's a Gravistar laying there?
Well, it's not actually Gravistar. It doesn't
No,
look
right,
exactly
but
like him. It's
like-
a different person that looks just like Gravistar kind of normally looks. Except when he like dresses up in costumes and things. You know, Gravistar au naturel.
So over the Justicars, I'll be like, they're making more Gravistars! They're making a smorgasbord of Gravistars.
All right, and as the Gravistar thing finishes, it like stops. The person opens their eyes, which are like dark, and then lets off this scream-like thing that is, again, it's like this big pulse that goes out and just damages things all over. It's sort of an agitating gravity wave. And everyone make another toughness save. Everyone is in the basement.
23.
All right, it's another cumulative -1 to further toughness saves. But other than that, nothing worse.
24. Wow.
You're actually fine because you're incorporeal.
Yikes.
That's true, but I wanted to roll and be like the cool kids.
The Optimist is thrown back and slammed into some machinery and falls to the ground, stunned and dazed and further injured.
Yeah, I crit failed that one.
Oh, a 5 on yours. Yeah, so unfortunately the snow leopard doesn't do so well, and you're knocked unconscious, just sort of flung up and tossed around. The side of your head smashes heavily against this large valve that knocks it off. Like the valve control itself should have probably weighs about 20 pounds itself, and it's old heavy metal. You whacked it with the side of your head so hard that you knocked it off, and steam came spraying out, and you're tossed and sprawled down to the ground. Do you return to your original form when you're knocked unconscious, or do you stay all leopardy?
We'll go ahead and return to my normal form.
Okay. Yeah, it was just this horrible bruise on the side of her head. Probably a concussion, or maybe even worse if she's not tended to. But core is definitely dropped by that. And you can see the guy in the suit doesn't seem to have been affected or harmed by the outburst. And then we go to Ether's turn.
I'm gonna try to possess him, and I know he's high intelligence probably, so I have a high intelligence one. I'm gonna use a hero point.
Okay, you can keep the hero point. When you go to possess him, it's like he's there, but he's not. You don't think this is a body. You're not quite sure what that means.
Hey, Cliff, I just realized too that I have the reroll thing. Can I do that?
Oh yeah, that might be a good idea. I mean, you had such a nice narration for the smacking your head into the valve and the steam flying and stuff. I hate to rewind that, but oh well, I suppose.
One more.
I do get 2 of them.
I'm not sure if there's a thing in Mutants and Masterminds about only being allowed to reroll something once. I might just be thinking Warhammer stuff. So I guess if you got the hero point, I'll let you spend it, because that 6 result is actually no better than a 5.
Well, remember when you re-roll that, you add 10 to the result if you roll less than a 10.
Oh, really? So that was a 16.
Oh, okay. So 16. Yeah, that's not enough to knock you out then. So we'll still leave it as is. You're still in leopardy form, but you're tossed around and stunned as you were slammed into this machinery down here.
I'll take it. Thank you.
All right. So next round, the Gravistar gets up and looks around at everyone here and opens his mouth and moves around and tries to speak, One thing that's odd about this, you think the person that was in there, like you didn't get a really close look at them, but it seemed like it was like a younger woman, and this looks like a big Gravistar looking dude. So definitely changed quite a bit. Anyway, the not Gravistar like opens its mouth a little bit, looks around, and doesn't seem to quite know what to do, but that doesn't make it another immediate attack. Next we'll go to, I think Astrotrimp is next.
All right, so there's a new Gravistar walking around, and there's this one guy in a robe.
He's wearing a suit, but
black suit. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna use an extra effort to get an extra action and fire 2 power attacks, one at the Gravistar, one at the guy in the suit. So you see me like reloading, putting in a new energy clip, and say something witty. So I didn't even have my coffee today. And then I shoot them both.
Wow, look at that.
Somehow both crits. I swear I'm not cheating.
Oh my goodness.
That's 37 each.
Alright, the new Gravistar, you blast them, like focus the beam right on their face, and they grab it and fall to the ground, dazed and stunned but not taken out. The other target you blast, there's like a rippling kind of going around. It seems like there's a shield, but then you just power right through it and bore through. And at which point the guy like raises his eyebrows in surprise and just sort of zaps apart in little motes of light.
I blow the smoke away from my...
There's little sparking bits of light that expire before they hit the ground where he was standing. The strange frame object on the ground is still there.
Alright, I'm gonna use... I mean, are we out of combat, or is the other Gravistar still around, right?
The other Gravistar is still there, so...
Alright,
next would be... Gravistar. The real one.
Or is he?
Right?
Alrighty.
Oh, I've got it. We could call this episode Gravistar Wars.
Oh, God.
Opti's just playing his own game tonight.
First off, use my gravity sense. Am I detecting any special gravity things going on by chance?
Yeah, there's sort of a weird gravity anomaly, right where that person is. And there's some residual strangeness about the object on the ground that has some gravity aspect to it, but not much. But yeah, the main thing is that there's that other Gravistar that's sort of, there's this sort of warbling happening around them in gravity, like they don't know what they're doing, but they have some sort of power they're exercising. You can imagine if like somebody just became you and didn't know what they were doing, but had their powers turned on. They might look like that.
All right. I'm going to spend a hero point and try to nullify his gravity effect. Basically try to counteract his powers.
Okay, you're fairly easily able to do that. I'm assuming you don't have to target for that, do you? They just make a save?
Well, it's not something I can normally do, so it's probably a power check.
Okay. All right, well, I made a roll. Just make a power check and get higher than that, I guess. which shouldn't be too hard based on how I rolled. All right, that's a 16 plus your power rating, which is what, 10 most likely. That's enough. Yeah, you're able to calm the gravity waves and fields around the person. You think you've got them nullified for now. They're mostly just concerned right now about having been shot by a laser beam. And they don't have to worry about the weird gravity effects right now, so good for you. And then I guess we come to the Optimist. What are you doing?
I'm going to. Well, the immediate threat is the Gravistar, right? So I'm gonna. I doubt my light of de-escalation would work on these guys because they may not be human or have like senses. So I think that I'm just going to shoot this guy with my light of hope or my ray of hope. 10. That's 15. I'm like no good today.
15 is not going to hit. Whatever confusion is going on, this thing moves pretty fast and doesn't like the idea of getting shot. So your light of hope blasts aside, and
where's the
industrial dryer that starts spinning.
Where's the scientist guy? The guy who was in all black.
The guy who was in a suit. Oh, he got shot and disappeared, like vaporized, like old school Star Trek almost.
Okay, so he's not around at all. Okay, are
there surprised?
Are there other people here?
There are other unconscious people that are on the ground, and then there's that frame that stuck this person and turned them into a Gravistar. That's laying unattended on the ground.
And it's just like a head thing, right?
Yeah, it's like this large rounded cage frame thing. You might be designed to go around someone's head.
Okay.
If what it was used for was what it's supposed to be used for, you're not quite sure.
Well, then I will turn my attention towards that thing after I find myself missing and not able to hit this guy. I'm going to instead make sure that thing doesn't get into the wrong hands, so I'll head that way and grab it.
All right, and then Ether.
You said there's bodies around the ground?
Yep, 4 unconscious bodies.
I'm gonna hop in one of them.
Okay. Door guy, receptionist, or maids?
Probably. Which one's closest to me? And it doesn't really matter to me, so.
Okay, receptionist.
Okay, I'm gonna hop in the receptionist body, and
as an NPC, an unconscious NPC, they will not resist.
Okay, I am going to do kind of a deeper dive because I want to see kind of what they saw before they went unconscious. That's my reason for doing this.
Okay, do you have to make a roll for that, or is that just something you can do?
I think I have to. You have to make a roll, I think. Let me see. My intelligence. Oh, I'm doing a. Well, what's their intelligence?
Probably about average human.
Okay.
So we'll say a +0 bonus.
Okay. I was gonna say I guess I'll make a roll. It says not usable in macros though. I don't know with this sheet. So I'm assuming that with an NPC, I'm rolling against whatever their average is. Their DC.
Okay, so I guess you're just going for a 10 then?
Yeah.
And your bonus is probably at least plus 10, so I guess it's not important. All right, so yeah, you jump in. You see, kind of zip through some of the events earlier in the day. Getting up in the morning, getting some breakfast, walking to work from, walking to the bus stop, taking the bus, etc. Just sort of zipping through the day, stopping for food, walking past the library as it was getting set up for the event, for the that you actually attended, showing up at work. Helping guests, and then at one point this guy doesn't recognize walking. You recognize him as the guy in the black suit. Well, you might not actually recognize him. I'm not sure if you got to see him before he got vaporized, but whatever the case, he walks right up to the front desk, holds up his hand, and there's a small object in his hand. It's kind of a circular object with a red thing in the center that starts to glow. And then that's the last thing this person remembers.
I did not catch any of that. Oh.
Any of it? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
I heard you.
I heard you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy in the dark suit walked up to him. Can you hear me now? Can you still not hear us? Okay, technical difficulties there. We haven't taken a break yet. Maybe we should do that now.
Sounds like a plan.
Have a chance to sort out whatever's up with Whitney's sound.
Cool. Then we will take a break, everybody. We will see you in 10 minutes.
don't know why I turned off my camera. That was weird.
I don't know either, but we're back without Cliff. So we're just going to hang out. What's up, chat? What should we name these Gravastars?
Gravinauts.
Gravinauts.
Graveroids.
Not stars. Hey, what's up, Eric?
Gravy evil.
Always a pleasure to see you. And unfortunately, the only time I actually get to see Eric is at conventions, but he is one of the reasons that I like going. Same thing with Thomas, though, I suppose. I don't get to see Thomas because he lives in Canada.
He'll be in the States next week.
Oh, still probably not in my range of being able to.
No, not so much.
Because I don't think I'll be in. Well, you're in Chicago, right?
Yep.
Somebody was talking today on the union, the Shadowrunners Union, about how in 3 major cyberpunk futures, our role-playing games, Chicago always has something bad happen to it.
It's because in our present we have bad things happening to Chicago.
It's because Chicago's crap.
Oh, we're back on.
So yeah, if I make a setting, maybe Chicago will be like this bastion of greatness, and it'll just be like
And hope.
fresh water and wildlife integrated with nature and humans living alongside everything. Everything's great.
Urban
And then-
ecology.
I think I'm
Fans
going
will
to
be
San
like-
Antonio.
Yeah, fans will be like, I can't play it. The setting's too unbelievable.
So yeah, I'll screw up Texas instead. All right, we're back. Cliff, take it away.
All right, so we come back as you've, I guess, nullified and more or less, I don't think actually knocked out the other Gravistar, but you basically disabled them and found this weird object that this person put on their head to turn them into a Gravistar, and Ethers possessed the receptionist and discovered his memory that the guy
I
in
can
the
actually
suit
hear
walked
you
up
this
to him.
time.
Yeah. He was working in at the reception desk, and the guy in the suit walked in and held up an object in his hand that had a red disc in the middle of it, which glowed red, and then that's the last thing he remembers. You're not sure how he got in the basement. He doesn't remember. So apparently, Dark Suit Guy did something.
So I would like to use my technology skill to make some sort of a containment device for this head, that thing that turns people into Gravistars.
Like a bag or a box?
Yeah, like a fancy, technologically advanced box that lets us study this thing while it's inside, and safely contained.
Okay, so you whip up a fancy box with sensor gizmos and things.
Where do you get the raw materials for all of your fancy future tech?
It's
It's all made out of Nutella.
So I use everything around me. It actually takes me like days and weeks, but I move really fast.
Refining materials and heading back home and coming back with some more. You just don't see him moving. Now there's a number of things around you could incorporate and use. There's a lot of damage to the sort of industrial machinery down here. There's going to be a lot of work from plumbers. They're going to have to turn I imagine at some point you just reached over and like turned some of the water mains off or whatever. So there isn't going to be a bunch of leaking inside the building. But you imagine there's going to be lots of similar damage in surrounding buildings. But this place is really messed up. But yeah, you now have a fancy box to store this thing in and look at it, assuming it's being put in there. But as he's doing that, does anyone else want to touch it or mess with it or do anything else?
I'll transform into normal core.
All right, you've got this big bruise on the side of your head. Maybe a black eye.
I'll relay what I saw from that man or the receptionist's mind to them.
So, do we see anything like that? The silver thing with the red button?
You don't see it laying around. You look at the spot where the man was standing, and it doesn't look like there's anything there.
Like
It doesn't
nothing
look
out
like
of the
there's-
ordinary, or like noticeably nothing.
Like there's no dead body or personal effects or ashes on the ground. It's like he really truly vaporized or disintegrated or something.
Can I just change my nose back into the leopard real quick and sniff the area and see if I can get a scent on him?
Sure. Give me a power check or a perception test, I guess.
$16, and with leopard nose, that's plus 6, 22.
There's a really unusual scent where he was. It smells hard to tell, like maybe metallic, but also extremely faint. You think, yeah, there's no residual pheromones or the kinds of various organic odors you'd expect from a person being vaporized.
Okay.
It doesn't even smell all that burnt, though there is maybe a faint burnt aspect of the smell.
And it doesn't seem to go in any specific direction.
Not really, no.
I'll put my nose back to normal.
Okay, so Cora's been sniffing at the spot where the guy was and got vaporized, and in the meantime, Astrochimp has finished manufacturing his thing with a clank and a shink. He's slid it into the containment box. It begins to hum and glow a bit as one of the screens light up and lets you see inside it, and starts giving off little readings along the side of it.
Right. So I look at Gravistar and ask him, Dr. Palmer, you got any idea what this thing is?
Well, I don't exactly have an idea what it is, but it's definitely gravity-based in nature. So, yeah. Help analyze it.
Well, how does it turn regular people into, you?
You can see that it's an object that has there's a frame, but it has some sort of underlying technology built within it, some sort of energy conduits of some kind, wires, cables, or whatnot. It's definitely unusual technology, and the scans don't tell you much about it except for exactly what it sees. But there's sort of this central focal point where these hinges meet, where there's a receptacle of some kind. And there's some really unusual readings coming off of that Gravistar you instantly recognize from your study of the stone that you were studying when you became as you are.
Yep, that's going to be my next question.
It seems like there's some sort of injection mechanism that's also wired up with some tech to transmit power and maybe some of the matter directly down through that spike that had impaled the person's mouth to turn them into a Gravistar. Yeah, and it's, as far as an energy source goes, you're not sure where that is. You're not detecting a battery or an energy generating thingamajigger, but that it might somehow be drawing it from the substance.
Yeah, so it appears that somebody's able to take the same space rock that gave me my powers, and it rigged this device to channel that energy into other people, thus transforming them into, well, duplicates of me, for lack of a better choice of words.
They didn't seem as together as you. They seemed kind of grunty. But that one guy, the first time we encountered him, he seemed pretty together, now that I think about it.
Yeah, this other one that's here, I think they're nullified, so they can't really use their gravity powers, and kind of like injured and weakened, but they're sort of, I guess, stumbling around a bit on hands and knees, looking about. Doesn't look like they're having much luck doing much of anything. They're moving their mouth as if trying to talk, maybe.
Is this what happened to you when you first got your powers, Grav? Were you disoriented, or is this something different?
I was actually in a coma for several months initially.
Oh, so you wouldn't even know.
I would say the effect probably has something to do with the decreased level of energy they put into this. You know, considering the size of this rock is much smaller than what affected me.
Who would want to do such a thing?
Let's see if we can. I want to check this thing out further. See if we can reverse the process using this thing.
Somebody's trying to create their own super soldier army.
All right, we'll swoop over to back in Gravistar's lab, back at the HQ. You've managed to rescue the remaining people who were not, killed. There were a number of injuries and damaged things in the area. Police and rescue personnel have arrived, and some of the other heroes in the town. And things seem to be settling down. There's no further action, so you went back to the Justicars HQ, and Gravistar has been checking this thing over. And I guess go ahead and give me this would have to be some sort of a science or maybe even super science roll. But Gravistar, I'll let you use your science skill because this is more intimately connected to your background. And then Astrochimp helping out with a super science test might be a good idea as well, unless you just want to handle it on your own.
I can help him out.
All right, so take a +2 from the bonus from the assist, unless you have a special additional aid, like teamwork bonus.
I do have teamwork. Also got skill, mastery, and science.
Is that the one that lets you take 10 instead of rolling if you want? Or does it do something else?
Yeah, you can make routine checks with one skill under any conditions. So that'll let me get a 26. I got 31 total just on a routine check.
Okay, with 31, you fairly easily figure out how you would activate it. It's almost like a button-like lever thing. But then you also figure out how to rig up some other stuff to attempt to what you think might be able to reverse the effect. You only have one shot at this, maybe two. Unless you want to make more test subjects. Do you want to hook it up to this person who you actually managed to bring back to your, I guess, lab or infirmary or whatever, this other Gravistar that's been wheeled in on a stretcher? Fairly easy to handle at this point while it's being nullified. Doesn't seem to be terribly intelligent or directly aggressive, just confused and not very competent.
Yeah. Unless anybody has some objections, I'd love to return them to normal.
Oh, no, of course. They didn't ask for this.
So you hook up the thingy to a frame that goes around their head to some other things and flip some switches, and run some code and power things up in your lab, and go ahead and give me a. In order to make this work, give me another follow-up science check. You can take a bonus from the assist from Astrochimp as well. Astrochimp doesn't really have to roll for that because it's only DC 10 to help.
Yeah, that'd be a 36 total.
All right, even better. So yeah, the person it starts to draw this like energy up out of them. It's a kind of a purplish glow to it, and there's a sort of field that you're manipulating around them and you're actually using some of your own gravity powers that can help control some of this. And through your various technological mumbo jumbo, you suck something up out of this person, and they sort of sag and deflate as if they were a Gravistar balloon. It's sort of this wrinkled Gravistar skin, which is kind of horrifying at first, but then they start to move some, and you realize there's kind of a person underneath, and this stuff kind of cracks and falls away from them. And
thank God.
There's sort of confused, where am I? What's happening? And it looks like you saved the maid. You're not sure, but you think that might work on yourself.
Oh, now!
I told the maid, like, you have been turned into a graviclone.
What? Who the... Astrochimp?
I smile like my picture in the cereal box.
She faints.
Don't worry about it. It happens to me all the time.
You say to her unconscious form. But run some scans. She seems to be like essentially she's very dehydrated, drained of pretty much all bodily resources and energy, and just gonna need to take some time to recover. Probably a little bit of hospital stay, but the immune system's probably compromised, so it might be best to keep her in the lab for at least 24 hours while she recovers. But she should live and not be a Gravistar thing.
We'll give her some electrolytes.
I'd probably hook her up to an IV and Sue sort of steps in and starts taking care of her. Poor thing.
Now we have one other one, right? There's a second Graviclone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you destroy that one? Kinda.
Well, one I immobilized, the other I nullified.
Yeah, that was the second one. The first one, I think you took down with some pretty solid damage, or somebody did.
Nah, all I did was hit paralysis and immobilized it.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Okay, then you do have a second one, yeah. So, I'll skip the dice rolls for the second one, and you're able to de-Gravistar the second person if you like.
Absolutely.
And this was some sort of a maintenance worker that worked in the building. Woman in her 50s. She seems equally confused about how she got here and what she's doing here, but and also drained, but also grateful. Both of them are grateful when they find out. They thank you for saving them, and they would like to leave, but they understand that they have to stay for their own health and safety. And they also feel extremely weak and tired and hungry.
And neither one of them have any memory leading up to the transformation?
No, just the man who had the red light in his hand is the last thing they remember. They were just, going about their work, and this guy walked up to them, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" And he didn't say anything and did the thing with his hand, and that's it.
Interesting.
I would like to say that before we came back, I definitely went back and made that kid give himself a wedgie.
All right.
Full circle.
It wasn't hard to find them because all the kids were sort of being kept back in the sort of a safety shelter area part of the library, so he hadn't gone far. So yep, the kid now has a wedgie.
Good.
I'm sure enough the videos can get online. But I will also look at Optiverse and say, hey, I think that the person was bringing them into graphical, I think might be a good.
Is everyone else hearing him okay? Or is it just me?
Both of you just got jerky.
Hello?
I can hear everybody fine now.
Yeah, now it
Switch
sounds good.
servers. Discord.
Okay. Yep, Opti moved us to a new region in Discord, so
We are
there we
back.
go. I missed like everything you said because it was all roboted out.
I look at Gravistar and I ask him, you think that person that's been going around turning everybody into Graviclones, you think there's more than one of them?
Well, it's certainly possible. I'm hoping this was just the beginning. Of course, there is that one that had a lot more abilities that might be one of the first.
Well, yeah. The thing that, I think given the kind of power you wield, a whole bunch of you running around is not a good idea.
Oh, absolutely not. We got to find this guy.
I think we can reverse engineer this, and I pointed the device that's been used to convert people. And say, I think we can reverse engineer this and track them somehow. Maybe look for similar signals.
There's not really a way you're going to track him from that. I'm going to say. That's a bit of a stretch, I'm afraid. I'm going to draw the line on super science at that point.
Maybe you can make a public announcement and call them to us or something. I don't know. I'm running dry on ideas. And I drink some chimp Gatorade.
At that point, the nearest screens that are around you sort of zort out and come on up with a steady video image. It's the masked image that you saw from before when the person who was identifying himself as Monarch. Justicars.
That's us.
Hey.
Yes, that's right. This is a two-way call here. I'm not just talking at you this time. The other one was pre-recorded, all set up for a special occasion. But no, I'm actually calling you now to say, that's it. Fine, I give up. You win. I was going to bring this town to its knees. It was going to be a thing of beauty, but you've thwarted me at every turn.
This doesn't feel genuine.
I turned to Opti and I'm like, Opti, you know this guy?
I don't think so. Do we know this guy, Cliff? We would recognize his voice, or have we heard him before?
He sort of projected himself on the outside of a dome that he held you within on your first day as Justicars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's the Sky Projector guy.
I think it's Monarch.
Oh, yeah, the Sky Projector guy, yeah.
So,
is
like, why are you giving up? Not that we're not grateful.
I'm going elsewhere to work on other plans. You won't have seen the last of me or heard the last of me in this world, but I will leave you to this domain.
Well, you know,
But-
like we're kind of like we kind of pursue justice worldwide. It's not like you can just leave and go do injustice somewhere else.
I suppose you will attempt to hound me no matter where I go. Well, perhaps my parting gift for you will be enough to keep you busy for the time. and a warning not to meddle in my affairs. You've destroyed or deactivated or co-opted nearly every agent, every possible avenue. Why? You gain nothing from any of this.
Well, that's the point of being a hero. It's not about gaining something for yourself. It's about allowing everyone to have the freedom to simply exist without coercion. You're trying to take that freedom away from people. We've seen you do it.
I see if Monarch is trending on social media.
Not recently, no. No one's been doing much about Monarch since, a while ago. He's kind of old news.
I tell Optimus that he's old news and we should focus on, like, newer, fresher villains.
So listen, why don't you tell us, like, why you're doing all of this villainy? It's got to come from somewhere, right? So what are you upset about, really? Where's all this anger and need for control coming from?
Well, it's just that I wasn't treated very well by my mother, and I'm seeking validation and blah blah blah. I'm not here for a psychology session with you. I'm here to say goodbye and to tell you to have fun with my parting gift. I gathered people, but also things, and there was one particular one that I've been keeping in check, and I won't be anymore, so... Goodbye. You're going to miss me. And he cuts the call.
Well, that was frustrating.
That was weird.
Yeah, I forgot all about him.
Like almost all the villains you've been dealing with, he's like people that he's sort of like set out or been messing with or been working for him. But yes, he's been the mastermind of the background. Like, damn it, not again! That was supposed to work. How did they kill the giant demon thing? It's a giant demon thing, etc. So, let's picture him as a very angry nerd in the basement.
He must have been planning an awful long time to be able to set up all of that random stuff. I would be frustrated too if I was him.
That's pretty sad.
I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of had a good thing going there, but
At that point, the alarms go off. The alarm as in like someone in the city is calling for help. There's some sort of big emergency going on. Assuming you all rush to the various displays to see or figure it out or get on the horn with someone from the police. You essentially find out that the downtown there's some sort of like awful monster attack. Like there's these big, black, scary, demonic things running around, smashing things, smashing people, grabbing stuff, just doing a bunch of damage. And then, like, toward the end of it, you catch this clip that was on someone's phone, like, all right, we're hiding in the Starbucks. Here just holds up his phone, and like, you see, like, sort of zooming around and directing things, flying in a robe. Is a cackling Chaos Lord with sort of lightning riding out along his robes as if he's using it to fly around it. He's just like casting spells and calling up these like big old demon looking things and sending them out. This city is mine now! Flee! Kneel! Scream! I don't care, it's all in good fun!
I'm going to turn to Astro Chimp and Gravistar and say, you know what we need? We need, like, flying
And
drones
ice cream.
to record us as we do heroics. So we can give people hope and we can trend on social media. So let's go think about that. But for now, we should go get Chaos Lord.
Yeah, meanwhile, while you're doing that, I'm gonna call dibs and then shoot off to go attack Chaos Lord.
Don't kill him! Over the Justicars.
I'm gonna tell everybody I need to make a detour for some ice cream. And I'm vague about it and fly away. In a different direction. To get my ice cream machine that I built that one time and then we got to use.
Oops. But no, we let the guy keep. Remember? Didn't we let the guy keep?
Yeah. I kept tabs on him, so I know
so
where he is.
you're just gonna commandeer his ice cream truck.
Yeah.
He's gonna steal it back from him.
Justicars business, sir. I need to commandeer your ice cream truck.
Okay, so yeah,
There's evil afoot.
After Chim flying up, there's this like weird, like big, demon thing, like rushing up and smashing things and trying to attack. It's being held off by the ice cream cannon. There's a bunch of kids hiding behind it. Astro Chimp shows up and helps fight off the thing. In the meantime, I guess everyone else is sort of Core has transformed into something to go fly off to that site as quickly as possible. It's not hard to find because there's smoke rising up, like police cars are showing up, and these like demon things will rise up out of the ground and just flip the cars over. I should say they don't look anything like the other demonic dude. Think like big muscle-bound floaty things with wispy bottoms. Like they don't really have legs, but they have big shadowy arms, and they're kind of hulky.
Do I get a sense of emotion from these guys, or are they just sort of non-sentient creatures?
They seem very, 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 very angry. Like maybe anger is the only thing they have, and it's like cranked up all the way. Just absolute rage. Like they're the embodiment of anger and rage and hatred. But like sort of raw and primal, not complex in any way. Like they don't have a reason for doing what they're doing. They're just blind rage and anger.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go full hope beams then. I'm not gonna worry about de-escalating them, and I'm gonna assume that they're just rage balls.
Okay, so you come flying up, and I guess we'll do an initiative roll. Ether, how are you arriving?
I'm leaving my body behind because my goal is to possess one of those demon things.
And I guess Gravistar, are you flying on your own or taking the Justicars?
Oh, I'll fly on my own.
It's probably faster. Us dealing with air traffic control and flight paths and all that stuff.
I saw Astro Chimp's 30 initiative, and I thought that was mine for a second. I got so sad because I only got 16.
Yeah, I got a 22.
All right, Astro Chimp is first. It looks like there's one of these big rage demon things that's it's going after your ice cream truck, which is, well, the ice cream guy's ice cream truck, which is basically trying to target it with the ice cream cannon and try to help the kids out. Astro Chimp, he says.
So, Citizen, I have come back.
I'm liking this. It's a good thing you have these upgrades. They've come in handy a couple times.
I want to hear that story.
Well, I'm gonna need it back, but for now, I'll help you out, and I take my laser rifle, and I'm gonna power attack the demon.
All right, make your attack roll.
15 with the DC of 32.
15 is not going to hit. You shoot at the thing, but it zips off to the side, and its mouth, which is kind of its torso, chest, rips open with a kind of a reddish glow and lets off this scream. So it's sort of got these like red slit glowing eyes. Very creepy. And then next we have on 22, Gravistar. You're not in the same place as, well, are you flying along with Astro Chimp, or are you flying along with Core? They're kind of heading in the same direction, but Core's just sort of flying on past the ice cream truck and heading for the heart of things?
No, I was heading for the heart of things.
Okay, so you're flying up and along with Cord, maybe up ahead a bit. Give me a perception test.
Both of us?
Well, it's Gravistar's turn, but
You
you
got
might
it.
as well roll one too.
19.
Yeah, with the 19, you can see that there is a group of police officers who have kind of like had a little barricade set up with some cars that they parked. Some have been knocked over to its sides, and they're in the process of fighting. Looks like a good half dozen of these demon things. They're just like bashing cars out of the way. Bullets don't seem to be doing much to them, and there's police officers are getting tossed around and injured and killed. You think you can hear like cackling farther up ahead, and like Chaos Lord is probably up and around the bend, maybe about a block past. But if you leave this battle as it is, these cops are most likely going to get overwhelmed and killed. What do you do?
I fly to the cops' aid.
All right, what are you doing?
Can I
Fly
get these,
down to them with the move action.
Yep, can I get these half dozen demons in a 60-foot cone?
Yeah, I'd say you could. The 60-foot cone would be wide enough to get all of them. You have to be a little bit careful about just getting the right angle, but you can fly, so you get a nice little vector down on them. And what does your power look like that you're doing?
It's a gravity wave, so it's my gravity blast, except it's a wave of cone wave, a wave effect.
Do you have to roll to hit with that, or is that just a save?
It's gonna be it's just this DC 27 dodge check.
I'm just gonna roll once for all of them. Failed by 7.
All right, so it's a DC 22 damage.
Okay, they all fail, but not by a lot. So it looks like you kind of damage them, knock them back a bit, and they all sort of open up their various mouths and let out this chorus of screams at you. They sound very angry.
And I think I'm going to cash in my accident complication, since there's an area effect attack. I did some accidental damage to the surrounding areas.
Okay, so you get a hero point back, but there's the cars. There's some of the cars the cops have been taking shelter behind, including some of the cop cars. The gravity wave pushes them around and over to the side, and now where there was some cover that the cops were taking, having some protection under, now there's sort of this open avenue that some of these things might now be able to stream through and get at them. Core, it's your turn next. Are you going to stop and help with this fight, or keep going ahead to find Chaos Lord?
I am heading straight to Chaos Lord.
Okay.
And once I get him in my sights, I want to do my assessment.
Okay, so you go flying around the corner. You can see just up ahead, just like standing or floating there on like this like weird arcing thing of lightning, and just laughing is Chaos Lord. And he looks over and sees you as you're approaching and just gives you a big wide smile.
Okay.
Go and make your assessment roll.
Okay.
And let's see here. What is that? Oh, that's is that opposed by something?
No, it just says I can make an insight check to gain. Let me get the wording here.
34 is probably going to do it.
Learn an opponent's combat capabilities, and I think it's opportunities for weakness too.
Okay, well, he's power level 12. He's got a bunch of magic stuff. At least one of those is an array, but he's also got some special spells in addition to that. He also seems to have this sort of you're kind of picking up on this like mental construct, but it's also like a physical magical thing that allows him to construct rituals, like design magic rituals to do almost anything super fast. in game terms, it's like he has the time bubble thing. Like Astro Chimp does the time bubble to design and build a gadget in just a few rounds. This guy can more or less do that same thing for coming up with all kinds of different magical rituals and effects that he doesn't already know. His weakness is that does take him some time, and also that he's kind of squishy. But he also has magical protections that make him not as squishy as he looks. So,
Okay.
I guess any other weakness might be that he's completely reliant on magic. So,
Right.
There's that.
Okay. Okay, I've got a plan then. That's probably took most of my action for this turn, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, so for my...
So you give him time to monologue then a bit.
No, sure, but...
Core, come to witness true magical power. Sorry, go ahead.
I do as I see him, and as I head for him and kind of assess the situation, I'm going to use my movement to go ahead and turn... we're going to go into giant Astro Chimp form again.
Yes.
Okay. The giant
Such
Astro
pandering.
Chimp, he sort of goes, borrowed power. I'm disappointed. I thought we'd have a proper duel. And then, let's see, next would be the demon things, which they're rushing forward, and some of them are like moving up towards Gravistar. It seems like they're... Hello, what?
Oh, I was gonna say my initiative was like a 3. Sorry, it didn't show you for some reason. It just showed that it was a private roll.
Okay, this is on 15.
Gotcha.
That was just core on 18. So yeah, on 15, like I said, the demons go. Some of them rush through and they're attacking the police, and somebody screams. It's hopefully they'll be okay, but if you can get to them. But 4 out of the 6 are actually rushing up to attack Gravistar. So let's see, what's your dodge DC?
18.
I should just roll once for all of them without rolling separate. Okay, 3 of them hit you, so make 3 toughness saves.
All right, 2 24s and a 20.
Okay, you have 3 cumulative -1s, so cumulative -3, I should say. For the toughness saves, is they're hitting you and it hurts, but it doesn't seem to be any sort of like knockout blow. They're rushing up to you and like swiping at you with these huge, seems solid enough arms that form into claws when they hit. They're scratching you up and knocking you around a bit, but nothing too serious. Let's see. Also, then, Ether's last, but before then is Chaos Lord, who waves his hands in the air a bit and starts to speak a spell as a symbol glows in front, and there's these sort of flower petals that move through the air, and where they touch the ground, suddenly there's a man standing there who's really, really well dressed, as if to go to a Victorian dinner party. And he's got this really, really large hair that's almost in this sort of fancy, swirling, very foppish, almost amusing pattern. Looks up at Ether, smiles way too wide for a person's face, but is otherwise just has this really kind of a beatific appearance. He's just too pretty. And he smiles up at you above his cravat and says, "Oh, that's where I left that." And the silver branch flies into the palm of his hand.
So he can see me regardless?
So he's looking up at Core and says, Core, you, did I say Ether? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up names here, but yes, calls for the silver branch, which just floats right away from Core.
What?
And into his hand. Yep. And Core, you lose access to your silver branch powers. I'm going to give you a hero point.
What?
This weird foppish dude stepped out of the magic rose petal spell and said, "Oh, that's where I left that." And now he's got your silver branch in his hand.
I'm not
Chaos
okay with
Lord
this.
just ganked you.
I am not okay with this. I'm real pissed.
Chaos Lord says, "Borrowed power."
I'm so mad right now.
And let's see then. Last person to go this turn is Ether. Yes, and I'm sorry, Chaos Lord isn't looking at you at all. You're
I haven't gone yet.
a little
But
ways.
Are there
Did I
any?
skip Optimist?
Oh, yeah,
No,
then
I did skip Optimist. Yes, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. I am going to. So describe to me the scene with these anger demons. Are they directly threatening?
You're flying up through the city. Yeah, they're kind of running rampant in the city. You can see that there's one of them that's attacking this ice cream truck with the kids nearby that's being protected currently by Astro Chimp and the ice cream truck driver. And then if you flew on past that, you would have seen that there was a larger group of them, a half a dozen, that were attacking a bunch of police, and Gravistar blasted at them and knocked some back, but some of them got through and attacked some police officers, but most of them are surrounding Gravistar, and then Core went flying up ahead and around the corner to challenge Chaos Lord farther up ahead. So it's up to you which part of the fight you want to go to.
Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to communicate with Astro Chimp and say, hey, can you round them up somehow with your truck, and Gravistar, can you lead them all to one place, and then maybe Aether, can you possess one and see if we can't get them all into one place?
You can try.
You hear Astro Chimp on the radio saying, if you get them all into a 250 cubic feet area or volume, I can freeze them all. You hear like pew pews in the back.
Yeah, maybe you can freeze off certain areas so that they can't go there, and then I'll hold my turn after just saying that, because I have a plan.
Here we go.
Okay, Ether, it's your turn.
So I am gonna say, I'm gonna go for the nearest one of those demon things and try to possess it.
Okay, there's the one at the ice cream truck then. It's the first one you encounter. You're gonna jump into that one? We're gonna go farther up ahead where there's more stuff going on. Hello, can you hear me?
She looks frozen.
I can hear you.
Now I can. I don't know, Twitch
Okay.
or not Twitch. Discord is just being real weird on my end, and I'm not sure why.
You're going to possess the one at the ice cream truck, which is the first one you encounter, or are you going to go farther in where there's more chaos up ahead?
I'll do farther in because then they might be occupied with something else and it might be easier to possess them.
Okay, yeah, you see that there's one that's lifted up a police officer and is using him to basically holding his legs in one hand and his head in the other, and basically smashing down on like a couple of other cops with him as a bludgeon as they're trying to like cuddle down and not get hurt as badly. That one seems pretty distracted.
Okay, I'm going for him.
All right, you go to hop into the anger demon, and what's the save DC on that? 25?
20.
Okay, well I rolled an 18, so can you possess the summon thingy? I'm gonna say, sure, why not? it has a body of sorts. It doesn't seem physiological, so it's very different than anything you've ever possessed. I mean, dead body earlier today, like
It's a new day.
semi-corporeal anger demon, and yeah, you just feel absolute intense anger. You are made of anger. You are anger, but you're also this physical stuff that's held together by magic. And you have successfully possessed an anger demon. You're really, really angry about it. I think that takes your action, doesn't it? The next would be Astro Chimp.
All right. So, is there anybody under threat here other than the ice cream man?
Yeah, there's some like I said, there were some kids who were getting ice cream, presumably when the demon attack happened. They were kind of taking cover behind the truck.
All right.
If you kind of glance over at the ice cream truck driver, he looks up and says, "Go on if you've got to, Astro Chip. I've got this." He basically grabs a bucket of ice cream and sticks it into the loader and cocks the giant cannon. I'll hit him with some rocky road. And if that doesn't work, the blue moon ought to do it.
So, well, I kind of need the cannon, so I'm gonna, fly right over and land next to him on the cannon, and aim my laser a little more carefully. This time with only a -2, and shoot the thing. All right, let me do this. 26 and 29.
All right, that hits. And yeah, that's enough to blast the rage demon sort of right in its mouth, gullet, whatever, and you sort of rake the laser around a bit and you sort of begin to slice it some, and whatever magic was holding it together or making it work, you're not quite sure what happens there, but it sort of goes sort of this gassy outburst that kind of floods around, and it's not a pleasant smell. But it's dispersed, and the driver turns to you, says, "All right, hold on," and he hits the gas, and the truck lurches up to speed, heading further into the town. "Just tell me where you need to go. I'll drive. You shoot.
Towards battle." And I start putting ice cream into the ice cream cannon.
All right. Next, we've got Gravistar. You're battling with this mass of these things. Looks like you've got them concentrated in a pretty close area.
Alrighty. Well, following the Optimus commands, I am going to attempt to use my gravikinesis to basically pull these guys along as I head down to gather these guys into one place.
Okay. So you're trying to pull individuals or use it as an area effect thing?
I can do it as an area effect. Basically, it's a DC 22 dodge check for me to resist being pulled along.
Okay, it looks like that's working. Not by a lot. They missed by 3. Well, that's probably enough. You can sort of push 4 of them down. Actually, how big of an area can you do with that?
It is a 30-foot radius.
Okay, so yeah, just the 4 that were attacking you then. So they're out of those 6, you're pressing 4 down. 1 is possessed by ether, which you might not realize at the moment, and then the other one is still rampaging amongst the police. Do you have anything else you can do? I think you still have a move action.
I can interpose to take the attack for one of the police officers.
Okay. Yeah, there's the one that ether hadn't possessed had rushed in, bashed one of the cops and sent him flying back, and then basically grabbed this hunk, like it was essentially like the front bumper of one of the police cars, and ripped it off, and is about to start laying about in front of the cops. into the huddling cops when you sort of go flying down out in front. Then next would be Core. You sort of find yourself standing on the ground on the asphalt as yourself, not a giant astrochimp. And about 30 feet in front of you, a little bit closer than the floating Chaos Lord is this weird foppish dude with the big fancy hair and the too wide smile and the cravat, and he's holding onto your silver branch. What do you do?
I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and start marching toward him.
He's giving you a pleasant but unpleasant and an uncanny valley way sort of style smile.
I call over my shoulder, you guys got this. I'm gonna give my Inspire. I have Inspire 5. And I'm gonna spend my hero point to grant my allies a +1 circumstance bonus per rank. And since I have 5, that gives them +5.
Ooh.
Yeah, Core's gonna go at it here. So as I'm marching toward the foppish guy, I'm gonna go ahead and just drum up from everything within me all the chaos magic that I've learned, and I just want to blast right through him like he's not even there and take my stick with me.
Okay, go and make your attack roll.
$33.
All right, 33 definitely hits. Go and describe what this attack looks like.
So all my greenness, kind of from my boots on up, starts to kind of twitch with this reddish black lightning as it starts to change my clothes to the red and black chaos core. And I just march right through, and as I reach out to shoot the energy, but I'm so close to this guy that I pretty much reach out and touch him, and just move right through him with one hand, taking my stick back.
Okay, it doesn't quite work out that way. You do definitely hit with your blast as you're getting close, and you sort of reach out to go through him, expecting to, but then find that him and the silver branch are not there. But just you're not quite sure, didn't quite get a good look at what happened there, whether he moved or teleported or just was obscured by the energy or something, but he's just sort of off to the side a little bit. Says, "Oh, that is very pretty. Where did you... That's... I've never seen chaotic energy. I've never seen chaos magic energy so aesthetically pleasing before."
I'm gonna just keep marching toward Chaos Lord.
And Chaos Lord is up there looking down. "There you go. I found your stick for you." Yes, he says. "I owe you one. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's nice to find mortals who care about matters of propriety." And then it's the Optimist's turn.
Okay, so I assume that my teammates were at least somewhat successful in rounding them up a little bit.
It looks like they're pretty well rounded up, except for the one that got poofed. And, judging by the sounds of destruction and smashing and whatever, there are probably some of these things off in other directions.
So
this might not be all of them, but it's all the ones you've seen so far.
Okay, so I'm going to swoop down into the middle of them, and I am going to use my ray of hope, but I'm going to use something that I can't use all the time. By using extra effort, I can turn it into a sort of nova burst that will hopefully take them all out. Let me see. The radius of that is 30 feet radius. So I guess 60 feet across in every direction. Or no, just 30 feet in every
That's enough
direction.
to get all of them.
But yeah, it's extra effort, so I'm going to be fatigued after I use it.
What is the effect of this?
It's essentially hitting them all with my Light of Hope.
Okay. Do you have to roll for attack, or is it just a save because of the area?
That would be up to you. I think there is a rule for that, but I don't remember it.
I'll just make it a toughness save. Okay, yeah, the hope energy goes out in a
So DC
sort of a
27.
nova around you. Go ahead and describe that how it looks as the wave goes around you and basically destroys all of these things.
So I fly into the center of them, and I imagine as they start to swarm on me, I just sort of go into a fetal position and start bringing all of my energy inward. And then in a sort of burst, knowing that I'm going to be saving lives and helping people, I will unleash all of that energy, the energy of hope, which decimates all of these creatures of anger.
And they sort of shrivel into these vaguely wisp-like forms of what they were before, just poofing. And the only one that doesn't is the one that Ether's possessing. You've got sort of control of that body, and the hope doesn't harm you, as it also doesn't harm the police or Grabastar. The big old car bumper club clings to the ground as the creature that was about to swing it at Grabastar can no longer wield it. And it looks like you've destroyed all of these.
Woohoo!
The cops
This
are
part of the
starting to
city
get up
is
and
safe.
help each other up, and some are running to check out some of the ones that were injured. Looks like at least one of them probably isn't going to make it, but most of them seem to still be alive.
I'm gonna fly towards the guy who seems to be dying.
Okay, yeah, he was thrown a long distance, and his head is at a wrong angle, like maybe his neck was broken.
Okay. I'm just gonna go over to him. I'm not gonna do anything this turn.
Okay, let's see. Next we have Core. Oh, that was Core, then Optimist. Next we have 15, the Rage Demon things, which aren't there anymore. And then I guess Chaos Lord turns to Core and says...
Oh, was Chaos Lord, what number initiative was
he's
he?
on 15.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he turns to Core and just says, I have so much power, so much more power than you've ever had, especially without the stick. Come, learn with me. You can work with your other half, if you like. Leave these Justicars behind. Take this city with me. You're so much more than these other pathetic mortals. We could become gods. I will. And he basically spends his turn monologuing to Core. There's like lightning kind of arcing out and around him. Oh my, how dramatic, the foppish man says. And then it is Ether's turn.
Okay, I'm still possessing the angry boy.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any of the villains that we were up against? Do I see any of them in my general vicinity?
No, but there's probably something going on up and around the corner. There's flashes of light, and that's the direction Core went.
All right, I'm gonna head up there then.
Okay, you go flying up and around the corner, and you see, there's Chaos Lord sort of hovering in an intersection on some lightning. Core standing on the ground in front of him, looking angry. Next to this guy who looks like he belongs at a fancy dinner party from the 1700s or something. And looks like he's casually holding onto the silver branch.
All right. How big am I? Pretty big, right?
I'd guess in D&D terms, you'd be large size. So
Okay, cool.
maybe about 10 feet tall, Shadowrun Troll.
Well, I know that Chaos Lord is a jerk, but I don't know who that fancy man is, but I do know he has something of course because he's holding it up, right?
Well, I think he might beg to differ on your defining ownership there, who owns what he's holding. But yes.
Okay, I'm going to charge him.
Okay, you charge up at him. Are you going to try to attack him or disarm him? Or
I'm going to try to get that out of his hand, yeah.
All right, so go ahead and give me a fighting roll.
That just be under fighting?
Yeah. What's an attack roll using your fighting bonus? So.
Okay. 23.
You also get a +5, so.
28.
That hits. You grab the thing and pull it out of his hand. He says, "Hey, that's mine."
He can't hear me say now it's mine, but that's my growling.
And you say, "Now it's mine as well." He says, "No, it isn't. It's mine. I came here for it."
Well, I found it.
There's two of you there. How curious. And then we go around to... Wow, we're running out of time here, so I'm going to wrap this up, but there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll come back around to Astrochimp,
Right.
who's riding along on the top of this ice cream truck.
Am I in range to hit Chaos Lord?
We come up basically up along a parallel street from where the Rage Demon police battle was happening, and you can see just right up ahead in the intersection is Chaos Lord standing floating above with some lightning.
Right. I assume we had 1 hour to rest up in between the fights, so I got my fatigue back, basically.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll use an extra effort, and I'm gonna get 2 action. My first action is to turn the ice cannon into an ice sniper rifle.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna, so it's gonna have damage plus a linked affliction. So I'm gonna aim at just like a huge scope on the cannon and like a longer barrel and stuff. And I'm gonna say, "Did somebody ask for pistachios?" And I'm gonna load up a pistachio and shoot it at Chaos Lord.
All right. So this bright green bolt goes arcing out through the night.
All right. Yep.
25 will hit.
Yep. And he also does an affliction, fortitude save against affliction of 18.
Okay, so it hits like as it gets near him, like there's a lightning thing that kind of arcs out and zorts the ice cream bolt. But it's got enough force and momentum that like shards of it still fly past and through and hit. So he takes a little bit of damage. This force field protects him from the bulk of it. And he does not make the fortitude save, but only fails by 1, so he's impaired.
Yep, he's impaired.
Ah! He says, "That's cold."
I yell, next up, mint chocolate chip.
And the ice cream truck driver just sort of hoots, "Woohoo!" as he's driving up. And then we've got, after you is Gravistar.
Alrighty. I'll fly over that way and I'll try to blast old Chaos Lord.
All right, you go zipping around the corner. Yep, you see Chaos Lord there. Covered in pistachio ice cream.
So a 24 to hit with a 29 effect.
24 just misses. He sort of moves to the side, sort of floating above the air. He kind of forgot he wasn't like just standing on the ground, so he moves kind of unpredictably, and you just miss him. Oh no, you have a +5 because of the inspiration, so you hit.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
And the gravity wave kind of like nails him full in the front with this whoosh. And his nose starts to bleed. And he goes, "Ow, that hurt!" All right, this is not fun anymore. And then it is Cora's turn.
All right. So I was getting closer to him, so I can like walk up to this guy now, right? Because I'm that close to him.
Well, which guy? The guy who's got
Chaos.
the stick?
No,
Or
Chaos Lord.
Yeah, Chaos Lord's like kind of up. He's floating about 10 feet up in the air, but he's right up in front of you.
Okay, so 10 feet up in the air. All right, that changes things a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and pull all that chaos magic that's inside of me again. And I'll start to like jog and kind of like Captain America, like jump from some like a wall of something so I can get a little more height on me. And I was going to punch him in the face, but I think with 10 feet high, I'm more going to be at crotch level, so let's do it.
You could like run up, like jump onto one of the crashed vehicles or something.
Sure.
But-
So I want to punch him with my chaos fist.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll with that then. That's gonna hit. What's the damage?
I'm not sure like what a punch does because I don't have that anywhere.
It'd be your strength bonus as a base.
Oh, that's only 2. But the chaos magic, I have level 6 in that. So what would that be?
We'll stack them together and make it damage level 8. So it'd be a DC 23.
And that's for him to roll?
Yeah. Roll. Yeah, it looks like you like punched him, not like right where you wanted to, but like kind of in the thigh, and there was this little he was a bit disdainful of the punch you were swinging, because like he's got his force field, and the lightning is kind of getting in the way some, but you feel a bit of electricity like course through your system, and your hair stands up a bit on end as you land the punch, and the chaos energy pulses out. He goes, "Oof! Oh!" You injured him some, but not much.
Poop. But as I do that, I'm going to say, I will always choose doing the right thing. And that's my doing good motivator and honor as my like little attribute factors.
All right, then it's the Optimist turn.
Okay, with the main group of these guys taken care of, I'm going to turn my attention to Chaos Lord. I
But on the
think...
corner, yep, you see Chaos Lord floating there on lightning. Yeah, and then there's that weird foppish looking dude holding the stick.
The foppish dude is not a terrible
He's not
concern
holding the door.
to me. I don't want to get in between.
Oh, right, yes, he doesn't have the stick anymore. There's the chaos demon
yeah,
holding-
so
the
far
red
he's
demon
just-
holding the stick.
So far, he's just looked foppish, so I don't think that's. I don't think that's a pressing concern to me.
Stop
It was to me.
Understood. But Chaos Lord is a problem for me in that he keeps teleporting away. So I think my best chance with him is to do Light of De-Escalation and maybe just take him out of the fight. So I'm going to try that.
All right, he's been blasted by pistachios and punched in the thigh by chaos magic. I followed it up with a de-escalation beam.
Arg! I'm gonna use a hero point. Like that's just. I'm tired.
15 is not going to
tired
hit.
of missing.
So.
Okay, whatever. 23.
23 is still not going to hit him.
Gosh darn it!
This is the beam. The beam fires out. He sort of moves aside, like moving up a little ways, probably just to make sure that like it's harder for people to punch him, but also helps to get him out of the way of the beam that was coming at where he was.
All right, mental note. Fix that power.
But does Opti have the inspiration too?
Oh yeah, you get +5. Never mind, you hit. So you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no,
Bam.
and you keep the beam. You hold it out there a little bit longer. You can feel the hope and inspiration, and like you just sense something cool about Core, even though you weren't there to hear what she said. There's sort of this residual hope in the air about her, like I will always do the right thing. I won't become your evil apprentice. Or whatever. That sort of empowers you to just hold at the beam enough, and you arc it up more and flash it up across Chaos Lord's surprised body. And
Are they still getting my +5 inspiration as well?
yeah, that's why.
That's what we just talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
It's against will, and it's
entranced
DC
and
22.
stunned because I rolled like crap on my save. I got a 16. So, what does entranced do?
entranced is stunned, but may only pay attention to the entrancing effect. He will break free if threatened, or if anybody interacts with him. So basically, as long as I keep the light on, he can't do anything else.
And he's got this goofy look on his face, sort of blood running down out of his nose, pistachio ice cream melting down his cheek as you're holding this de-escalation beam on him, and he's just...
I'm gonna, over the comms, like holler to Astrochim and Gravistar and say, can we get some sort of force field on him to keep him here so he can't teleport away? Let's get this guy once and for all.
I got an idea.
And that'll be my turn. And I will just keep the beam on him.
Okay, next, the foppish dude is looking over interestedly at things, and he sort of gives the rage demon an annoyed look and says, "Hold that for me." And he just takes a couple of steps over and just watches. And actually observes for a moment and then starts to applaud very softly, like, "Oh, how entertaining."
I kind of like this guy.
And I guess we get down to Ether's turn.
I'm gonna return that branch to Core if she's nearby.
You kind of go floating up to her and hand it over to her.
I take it. I'm still sparking with chaos magic, and I'm real mad that my punch didn't do much. So I'm like panting and like really having this internal struggle with the chaos in me and everything. But I'll kind of like through gritted teeth, thanks, and take it.
And then I will actually, I'll take that. I'll kind of run away because I gotta figure out what the hell to... No, I won't run away. I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of this body without it attacking everybody.
And you get the sense that as soon as you step out, it's just going to attack whatever's near.
Yeah. Is Chaos Lord still in the air?
Yeah, he's gazing into Opti's eyes. Not really.
Oh, that's right.
You should have him go hug that foppish dude and then get out of him.
Okay. Yeah, that I'm gonna hold an action if I can do that. The second I see his feet touch the ground, because I think the creature I'm in is like only ground based, right?
No, you could move around. You could fly around, basically.
Oh shit. Okay.
little regard for gravity or aerodynamics. It's magic flying stuff.
I'm gonna start charging at
You don't
him.
actually
Then.
have feet.
Okay, I'm gonna start like going real fast towards him, and like right before he might hit Chaos Lord, I'm jumping out of the body.
Okay, so you go. It flies towards you. Jump out of the body. It kind of like bumps into him some, and then like stops and yeah, not much happens. It'll probably get to do something soon, and then we're back to Astro Chimp.
All right, time to use my last extra effort for this session. So again, I'm using 2 actions. I'm turning my ice cream sniper rifle into something that is more debilitating and not. I wanna, because that's what Opti said. We need to disable this guy, not blow his brains out. Then I look into whatever ice cream's left. The only thing I find is green tea. I kind of like grunt and I load it into the ice cream gun, and it says, "Didn't your mother tell you never to let your tea get cold?" That's I got. All right, and I'm gonna do an all-out attack. And actually, I'm not gonna do an all-out attack. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do an all-out attack. 34.
That definitely hits.
All right, and the affliction fortitude.
I got like an 11.
So that's 3 degrees of failure. That should just be full-on paralysis, if I'm not mistaken.
He's been fully and thoroughly encased in initially some pistachio ice cream, but now a full blast of what was it? Green tea ice cream.
Green tea ice cream, yeah.
Okay, so a little bit lighter shade of green, I think, and but he's been like just blasted and covered with that. He's like super cold, but still, he's no longer entranced, I don't think, but he's still kind of stunned for now. And you've got Chaos Lord
for 1 minute.
Next would be Gravistar.
I'll hit that last rage demon with a gravity paralysis so he doesn't do anything.
All right, I'll skip the dice rolls. We're already over time here, but we'll assume your thing works and you pin that thing to the ground with a telekinetic force. Well, gravitic telekinesis. It struggles against it, but you keep it pinned to the ground. And then next it's Opti's turn next, I think.
Is he said he's not entranced again anymore?
No, he's just stunned now because he got attacked by ice cream.
I think I'm usually after Gravistar.
Oh, sorry, did I skip you? Core then.
So Chaos Lord is still entranced?
Nope, he's stunned and encased in ice cream.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and now that I have my stick back, I'm gonna keep an eye on the foppish guy, but I'm gonna transform into large Astro Chimp just in case. Basically, so that if Chaos Lord breaks free at all, I can kind of like have a Hulk Loki moment there, since I know he's more susceptible to physical damage than magic damage.
Okay, Optimist, your turn.
Okay, I am going to try to re-entrance him because I do not want him to get away.
All right, you pour it on, you re-entrance him, you've got the full effect on. He's just all the way unaware now. And it seems like you've got Chaos Lord pretty well wrapped up.
Okay.
Which is pretty impressive considering like how quickly and easily he can escape with his portals.
That's what I'm trying to stop.
Next, the foppish guy goes, looks up and says, "That's just gaudy. I'll take that back, please." And the silver branch goes right back into his hand. And
Stop!
is standing where she was.
Can I punch him?
And says, "That's mine. Don't take things that don't belong to you."
That was gifted to me.
Could have done that. It's mine.
She must have been a fae. She had long, curly red hair, green eyes, green dress. She told me that there was a reason that I needed this in our world.
What was her name?
She didn't give it. There's a thing with names in you people.
Clever girl. I think I know who, but I was hoping she might have slipped up. You never know with mortals. Well, I suppose you can have it again for a while. He tosses it across and it, instead of like falling to the ground, it floats back over to you. I'll come back for it later. He looks over to where you've got Chaos Lord wrapped up and snaps his fingers. Chaos Lord disappears. Ice cream falls to the ground. He says, "Debt paid. We're even."
Gosh darn it.
And steps away and sort of dissipates into rose petals.
Okay, I was wrong.
that demon
guy
still
was
there?
a threat.
No!
The guy made Chaos Lord disappear and say debt paid and then went away. But he gave the stick back to Core.
Maybe we should keep the demon.
The demon's sort of wriggling against there. Eventually it will like sort of dissipate and disappear as its magic runs out, but and that'll be a while. At least another minute or two.
I show up to the rest of the gang with tubs of green tea ice cream because it's the only thing that's left. So, where's Chaos Lord?
Ugh. Teleported somewhere.
I take some of the ice cream and start crying while eating it.
I say, Astrochimp, get this. Start recording. And then I'll walk over to the anger demon, and I'll look at the camera, and I'll have the anger demon right next to me, and I'll say, "Listen, kids, this is what happens when you don't talk about your feelings. You end up becoming something like this, a rage demon, and you want to not become one of these things because anger will consume you. So you may not look like one of these, but it'll be like that on your heart if you don't actually take ownership of what your feelings are. Feelings aren't bad. Feelings are good, and they need to be talked about, because talking is magic."
So the actual video that I put out on social media is like heavily edited to make up to it has like heavy metal, music playing in the background.
Dun 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 dun.
Feelings are cool.
Talk about your feelings.
Feelings are awesome. Dun 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 dun.
Anger will transform you into this in your heart.
Simultaneously, like the most metal thing and the most Mr. Rogers thing at the same time.
All right, yeah, and with that, we'll sort of do a hard close 80s movies ending on this season, because we'll be back in a couple months to see what happens next. And
can we all do one of those things where we all fly away like this, and then we turn around and wave to everybody, even though our headquarters is right down the street? We didn't need to fly.
Like feeling a bit discouraged
That
about.
wasn't really a happy ending.
Having lost Chaos Lord like that.
There's always hope.
Apparently you've driven Monarch out of town, and maybe Chaos Lord was what he was referring to about letting something off the leash, and Chaos Lord certainly seemed to do that. But yeah, you met this other fairy dude who took the stick back, but then gave it back on a whim, it seems. And as you're feeling a bit discouraged, you're sort of getting some ice cream to feel a bit better about things, but then the police start coming around the corner, like just thank you for saving their lives, because almost all of them would have died, and only one of them did.
Speaking. Oh, dang, yeah.
Oh, did you have a thing you could do about that?
No, I didn't take any actual healing.
Unfortunately, all you got to do is like sort of go up and look at him and watch the light go out of his eyes.
Well, I do have. Did anybody use the syringe?
I could have
been used.
I could have given him like a hopeful mind is a power where I can enhance his willpower. So maybe like allowed him to die well or something like that.
Well, you got to be there for him as he passed instead of, him just seeing a scene of chaos and carnage. So maybe there's a bit of that, but yeah, only one person was lost in that, which could have been a lot worse.
Still,
there were some other people
still a
hurt and
tragedy.
killed around the city. There were other rage demons that sort of they went out and sort of ran themselves out pretty shortly after Chaos Lord was vooped away. And there we have it. End of the season. I will give everyone. Have I been handing out hero points or experience points every session? I don't recall. I think I have with some of them, but not others.
More or less, like every season, every episode.
I have a total of 19, I think, extra.
Same here.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right then. You're going to get a little bit bigger boost for that this time. Everyone gets 10. Ooh. And you may level up your characters up to power level 11.
Oh, hell yeah! You said how many power points? 10?
10 more power points. Yep, and you may now turn it up to 11.
Bam! That's awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, I hope you all had fun. We'll sort of end our official session part with the Excelsior. Who wants to lead this one?
Before we do that, let me just say that while we are off the air for a couple of months, the variants are every other Monday, and the Guardian Allies have just started. They'll pick up next Sunday again for their second episode. And if you haven't listened to Guardian Allies, it's up on YouTube, the first episode, and it was something. It was really, really neat. Scrimmerva did a great job of GMing that. So please check that out, and check out the variants on next Monday, and it's tomorrow, this Monday. And now we can do Excelsior.
All right, I'll do it since I'm the GM.
Okay.
So I'll do a 3, 2, 1 Excelsior, okay? 3, 2, 1
Excelsior!
All right, thanks so much for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Tune in tomorrow for more Optiverse, and we'll be back as well.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya!
Bye.